That's right. Live on Chicano Tube, live on Chicano Street, cabrones. I appreciate you guys for tuning in on this Saturday after the carne asada.
Hey.
The carne asada is done. Y ya se armó. Y aquí tengo en la casa el pariente. You already know who it is. Norbeez is in the casa one more time. Hey, gracias for coming to Chicano Street.
Thank you for having me again. Thank you to everybody that's tapping in, tuning in, hitting that like button. Much love, much appreciation to all of you. Wow, I'm back.
We're back.
Yeah,
How's
good
this?
to be back.
A little bit different? It looks different?
Yes. I'm looking at. I can see the live chat, guys. I can
Chat
see
is
all of
lit,
you guys.
huh?
I can see Hater Ranker. I can see Cutlass Supreme.
Banda World.
The
Me la pelas,
Poncho
güey.
Live Podcast. Let's see. Man 2 on Fire. Pancho Zapata. All Red Dog. Anyway, shout out to all you guys.
All of you guys, man. The chat is lit. Gracias to all the day oneers. Gracias to everyone in the members only. The members only is who I call the backbone of the community. I appreciate you guys more than you know.
Definitely.
And the members only have all the VIP passes to all the content creators, series of fighting, peleas.
Hell yeah.
When they're not just about talking, but they're about doing and action, they give Mikey a call,
Ding,
and
ding,
then
ding.
we settle it.
That's right.
We've got the third one coming up on Thanksgiving.
Like men. You guys
All
settle
like
it
men.
yeah.
All of them like men. And all with 100% respect. That's the only people that I deal with. But gracias all the day one. Oh, and then shout out to all the Chicano channels and all the Chicano pages. You know,
That's why I have this hat on tonight.
you see that one?
The Chicano hat.
No.
Chicano brand.
Shit. Cabrón. Came banging. The last time you came
man.
banging in the LA hat, cabrón. That was a bad one.
Yeah,
The stencil,
like that
I never
one.
seen that pattern.
Yeah, I love that one. That's one of my favorite LA hats. But I had a few messages telling me to be careful out here wearing that. Is that a thing? I don't think that's a thing.
Not with you with me.
Yeah.
Not with you with me.
All
So
right.
just say that. But a couple messages, I get it. You know what I mean? The internet's wild, and they're always gonna say what they're gonna say. Watch out, trucha. You're gonna be with me, cabrón.
Yeah.
You're gonna be with me. So enough said.
Nobody hates
But
me.
that was a bad hat. That's
Thank
what
you.
I'm saying.
I appreciate that.
That's
But
what I'm saying.
You got the Padres hat on there, huh?
No, this is Pirates.
Oh, I'm bad. Sorry.
So we've been pre-gaming already. As you can see, the bottles over there. Norbeez is in the casa. We're live on Chicano Street.
yeah.
We give out Chicano check marks over here, blue verified. And Norbeez, Run the Fade podcast, and News with Norbeez is verified.
Sir, thank you.
And they are in the casa. Proud to be Mexicanos. Proud to be
Yes.
indigenous. Proud to be Zapotec. Proud
Yes.
to be
LA.
LA.
Son, LA son.
That's right. You know what? Speaking of that, did you see that Tony A uploaded the Club Rhodium video?
Yeah. Shout out to Alex for his work on that. But
Is that who shot it?
yeah, that's who shot it. Alex Cervantes Enterprise.
Well, I know it wasn't you because Norbeez was on the bench in the back VIP room behind the
I was getting
scene.
down. It was fun, man. You should have been there. You guys should have been there.
Did I tell you what we did?
No, I don't think you told
We ended up buying tickets.
Yes. Oh, yes.
And yeah, we bought tickets to go to Club Rhodium.
Yeah.
I messaged Tony and I was like, I'm going to be there. And just like 2-3 weeks ago, same scenario happened. Last second, we're going to go to a car show and I got a phone call for work.
Oh.
Well, you know, I can't turn down cash.
You can't. You really
Especially in this economy.
Yeah.
I'm fucking going to turn down cash.
You really can't. Not in this economy.
I didn't go, but I saw the 27-minute video. Gente, there's another channel that's Chicano verified, and that's Rhodium Radio.
Hey.
If you didn't know, that blue check mark is it's there already.
That's right.
But I want to tell the people this. Who else is doing that in the podcasting world? Who else is shutting down a club,
Yeah.
you know, and throwing a whole show? Who else is doing that on YouTube?
There was so much love, man. So much love. Battle Cat was DJing that night. It was incredible. Just having Battle Cat DJ that night, my mind was blown. I was like, we're really in it. That's Battle Cat.
Yeah.
That has produced
Yeah.
so much legendary music.
Oh, for
just
sure.
DJing for everyone that came through. It was amazing. It was beautiful.
Battle Cat,
I hope
man,
Tony
it's
does
crazy.
another one. I hope another one before the end of the year would be great because I need to go and dance again because I was dancing. If you guys do see that video, you'll catch me dancing. I think quite a few times I was dancing in there.
He said quite a few times.
Yeah.
You were cutting a rug, but I did see you in the VIP, cabrón. That for sure. I did see you in the
Yeah,
VIP.
that place was dope,
You
man.
were doing your thing,
Yeah,
cabrón.
yeah,
You were
yeah.
doing
It was cool.
your thing.
I gotta say, it was cool. It was very humbling. I got two guys that they recognize me and they say, "Hey, Norbeez, let me buy you a shot, let me buy you a drink."
Damn.
I'm like, "Damn, that's never happened to me before."
Damn.
That's pretty cool.
That's all love.
Yeah, that's a lot of love.
That's
man.
a
I
lot of
appreciate
love,
when
man.
people
A
come
lot
up
of
to me.
love.
Michael Rosa and his wife. Oh my God, they're beautiful. They're beautiful. They gave me.
Is that the promoter?
No.
Because it was David, a promoter named David. I think I was dealing with David Vega.
Yeah,
shout out to David Vega in
Concerts
Los.
for
Shout out
You.
to you. And the promotion is called
Concerts for You.
Concerts for You.
Yes. Anyway, Michael and Mary Rosa, man, beautiful couple. They blessed me with a Taco Bell card, a gift card, and a card. Because they watch News with Norbeez, and I just gotta thank them because I don't know, they're very special to me because they've been supporting me. They write to me, we talk. They just always been showing love, and I love when so many people reach out to me because I'm not really used to that kind of stuff. I've always been the guy behind the scene.
Yeah.
But since
putting it together or being the hands-on man.
Yeah, that's
which are like the silent heroes.
That's what I love to do. That's my thing. And when Tony, gave me the opportunity to be on screen and, talk, and thankfully not too many people got annoyed by me. Later on down the line, people got annoyed by me. But that's because that was the intention.
You know what? Me and the wifey, we're going to slide over to Club Rhodium last year. It was going to be date night. We would have just made it an L.A. weekend because really, L.A. is like my second home. I was telling you about some relatives that I have that are from over there, right? I don't blast them out here on the internet and all that, but they're from neighborhoods and stuff like that. So I always got a place to stay when I go down there. And if I would have went to Club Rhodium, it would have been nothing but love.
Oh, yeah.
Nothing but love. Yeah. That's all it would have been.
You would have cut a rug.
I would have seen you in the VIP room up there.
There you go.
I would have VIP room. I would have put a little bracelet on and moved the thing. So anyways, shout out to Tony A. Shout out to Club Rhodium. Go and trip out on that because there's no one else doing that on the internet. I'm saying those videos like that, imagine keep doing those.
Yeah.
There's no one else doing that.
There really is.
Shutting down a club.
There really isn't, man. I mean, I don't know any podcaster that can do that. But that's because Tony's been in it. He's been in the podcast game for quite a long time. I mean, he shines so much light on artists, on our people, and every other kind of people. He shines light on them. But a lot more of our people, our raza. And I love it because I see all these new podcasters, and they're having the guests that Tony A first gave their interview, their live interview or their first interview. Tony A was the first one to give it to them when nobody else would give them an interview. These guys that are podcasting now, they wouldn't even take a second look at these people.
Yeah.
But Tony A said, "I don't give a fuck and nobody knows them. I'm putting on nobodies." And he didn't mean that in a disrespectful way. He meant that in a way where these are the people I see the talent. All these people don't see the talent. I see it.
Like Suge Knight did.
Yeah, and he put all these people on there, and now I see these podcasters pretty much with the Rhodium Radio roster, and I'm happy for it. I love that they're doing it. I love that they're getting the guests that were once or the first for anything on Rhodium Radio. And now these other podcasters are bringing them to their show because now they see the talent. Now they see the hard work that these artists have done. And I'm glad that Tony A took them, called them. I want to put you on my show. I want to shine light on you. And they just grew. They just
brought him to Chicano Street, brought him over to Tony's headquarters and got the interview.
Yes.
And then later, because I don't think he's in it to try to get any kind of credit or nothing like that. But I think the reward there is you see that artist blow up.
Tony is the biggest fan of music. This guy, he lives and breathes music. That's his love and joy right there. And when he sees talented raza, especially raza, that have it, he wants to make sure that they shine a light on them. And again, this goes back to one of the reasons why I protect that show so much. Not because of Tony A, but because of the artists, the people that have gone through there, the people that gave their time to show up and let the people see them.
Yeah.
And that's always been something that has been important to me, to protect their image and protect the things they've done. Because now I see a lot of them blow up. I see a lot of them on advertisements for different concerts, different venues. It's exciting.
You seen how I did a listening to Chicano music the other day, and I played some Too Dank.
Oh yeah.
You like that
Oh,
one,
my
huh?
God.
I didn't even know that track. Shout out to you guys, because that last listening to Chicano
Yeah.
music, they drop nothing but bangers. Every time I do that, I expect the chat to get lit, and I expect them just to drop the bangers. And then Cujo, I never heard Cujo.
Yeah,
Never heard Cujo.
Cujo was
until
on
last
there.
week. But that Two Dank, that was a slapper, huh?
That was a slapper. And then Two Dank's been working very hard. Much love to do Two Dank, because you'll see her in like almost every kind of show there is in Southern California. You'll see her on like regular car shows, and what I love the most, you'll see her on shows that involve certain like charities. I don't know if you would say charities.
Charity
But
events.
charity events like for
The community.
For the community.
Yeah, of course, for the people.
For the homeless. For what's the word that they say to give out information on like, let's say, autism.
Yes.
Well, what's the
Make
word?
awareness.
Awareness. Yes.
Advocate.
Yes. An
An advocate.
She'll go to those shows and work and be there to support. Like,
So she got a good head on her shoulders.
she does. Then she got her manager. I think it's called Elevate Management. So shout out to him also.
You do need a manager, because I think they kind of guide you in the right direction in the
You
beginning
really do.
before you know what to do, or I don't even know.
Yeah,
You have to ask Tony that. Huh? So anyway, shout out to Club Rhodium Radio. Let's get this thing going live on Chicano Tube, live on Chicano Street. Before we do anything, I want to get a little bit of truth serum.
Hey, let's get it going.
And I swear to tell the truth,
but nothing but the truth.
the whole truth, nothing but the truth. After this drink of
I'm supposed to raise my hand now.
Puerto Vallarta, so help me God. Johnson Phil, shout out to you, cabron. He says, hey, Taco Bell.
Yes, sir. Hey,
What'd he say?
Hey, Taco Bell, it good. Got it. Got to admit it. You know, thank you, because again, I tell people, even though it's an Americanized company, the origins of Taco Bell, the hard shell taco, it comes from a Mexican restaurant. It comes from a Mexican restaurant. The original creator, shout out to ACB Chemistry, the original creator of that type of taco
Sí, Simón.
was a Mexican restaurant called Mitla Cafe. I want to say it's somewhere in San Bernardino, but I could be wrong. Don't quote me on that one. But he originally started the hard shell taco. And it took him a while to realize that the güero across the street that was selling hot dogs kept coming into his restaurant, looking at him cook behind the kitchen, just stalking him, until the owner said, the owner / chef said, hey, güero, I don't know why you keep looking at me. Like, if you want to know how to make it, I'll teach you how to make it. And Bell, the founder of Taco Bell, went back there and took his offer. And that Mexican chef taught him how to make a hard shell taco.
You know what's crazy? I was thinking, of course, I didn't doubt that it could have been founded by a Mexican.
Yeah.
But I was thinking, what if you make Mexican food but Americanize it? It's a new product, something different.
Yeah.
And it fucking blows up and turns into a franchise all over.
Well, I mean, that's what happens.
Because obviously there's not the original tacos.
It's not the original. Well, what do you mean, the Taco
Hard
Bell
shells.
or the hard shells?
Hard shells.
Well, that was the interesting
Lettuce?
part. That was the interesting part because that
Cheese?
chef, that's what he did at the restaurant.
Where's he
a
from?
Mexican.
What part of Mexico he's from?
I don't know where. You know what? Then that's the other part, because he named it Mitla. I don't know if you know where Mitla is at.
Sounds like Jalisco.
Well, to the Mexica, Mitla was the underworld. Mitla represented the underworld.
Like, I get it. Like different dimension.
Yeah.
A different realm.
That's where the dead go.
Oh, okay,
Where
then
the dead go.
afterlife. Like
yeah,
an
the
afterlife.
That's what Mitla is to them. But there is a city called Mitla, and it's in Oaxaca.
Big Joe Castro says, "What's up?" I just want to
Oh,
let you
Big
know.
Joe
Big
Castro.
Joe, Big Joe
Yeah,
Castro.
okay,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
the guy
No,
right
he hit me
there.
directly on my phone.
Oh, really? Oh, tell him I said hi too.
He has my direct cell.
Message him back. Tell
So,
him.
he has
Joe
my direct
Castro.
cell. Big Joe Castro's in the casa, man. He has a
Oh,
great
my
story
God.
from the calles to Chicano Hollywood.
He's amazing.
He's another Chicano that's verified with the blue
Definitely.
check mark.
Definitely.
You know Big Joe? Where'd you meet him?
Yeah. Well, I haven't met him personally. We communicate through Instagram. We network with each other, and he's always been very open to like just communicate
Online,
And I love
online.
that. I love people that are open to communicate. They're not very quiet.
The online community is beautiful.
Because I'm very much like, I guess you would call it an introvert. I'm not that easy to like talk with.
I get you.
But when somebody's very like open
Yeah.
to talk,
Oh yeah.
it makes me comfortable.
Absolutely. Live. Hey, hit that like, you guys. Live on Chicano Street. Let's keep it moving. Hey, I appreciate you, Big Joe Castro.
Yes, sir.
We're going to keep it moving. We're going to talk about a lot of things that have been going on since the last time you came, way.
Oh, man.
A lot of things has happened. The pinche mundo has already been shaken. There's
Literally.
more than anything now. There's more beefs. There's more pleitos. There's more politics is even way on another level with sheep getting brainwashed. Did you see RFK's speech?
You know what? I only seen pieces of it because CNN kind of cut it. Like,
this is crazy because we have Bobby Kennedy, who's part of the Kennedy family, which originally are based Democrats.
Yeah.
But you have to remember that back then, the Democrat was like the modern day Republican, where they were for the working class people, the blue collar people.
I'm glad you clarified
that. Therefore, putting more money in your pocket, keeping jobs here, and America was in the picture. Not when you saw an American flag, you're a racist.
Yeah.
But it's crazy now. He said his main 3 things that made him run for president this time, and he just conceded yesterday in the most epic speech you will ever hear about politics. Shout out to the subscribers, or so it's a super chat. You know, the super chat or the subscriber, just subscribe alarm or whoever it is, man. Shout out to you guys. That was an epic speech. He said censorship is one of his biggest topics, war and chronic disease. I tripped out because if you think about these 3 things, gente, censorship means they need to stop shutting our mouths on what we can say. Yeah. And if it offends you, it offends you. Me vale.
I got to call her Tamala now. I got to say Tamala. Because if I say the K part, we're going to get flagged. We got to say Tamala. We got to say Hamala. We got to start making, we got to do the same thing that we had to do for the shot. You remember anybody that said the words that they get flagged. So we had to come up with the what was it, the shot, the needle. We had a lot of different nicknames to be able to say it.
Oh yeah.
Now we got to do the same thing for Maris.
That's funny. Yeah, I know what you mean. Live on Chicano Street, you guys. Norbeez cracking jokes over here. But the raza named her Kemala. But anyways, I just wanted to point out a couple things.
That's good one.
Let's talk politics and Kemala eres. The raza named her.
Kemala. I think you just started something there. Kemala.
Kemala eres. That lets the raza know, hey, you know what? She's not going to help you. She's avoiding every single interview. She's the only presidential nominee that it's been 37 days now since her nomination, Raza. Trip out on this. 37. I'm not trying to talk too much politics. I was trying to put the politics on after the break.
I love politics.
I was trying to put them on after the break, but I guess we're going to have to get into it. She's the only presidential nominee that 37 days has not done a press conference, a live interview, or an appearance. And it's all these wolf tickets of why she can't do it. It's the same shit that happened during the last pinchy term where right before November, it was chaos, nothing normal, so they could try to run a power move. That's what I think.
Well, bro, it's the same thing as the Biden administration. He doesn't do interviews. He doesn't have journalists asking him questions. It's always the speaker that's, not the speaker, but what's her name? That Jareen, something.
What's his name?
The Secretary of Speech or Secretary of...
I don't know. No,
the
I
one
don't
that
know
always does the morning questionnaires. Anyways, so going to talking about Kemala, I saw this painting of her, and it says forward. Did you see that?
Of course, that went viral.
And that went viral. And I'm looking at it. I'm like, forward. What does that mean? And then I took off the D. I took off the D, and then it made more sense to me. For war.
Damn it.
It made a lot of sense.
Damn, it could be that.
It's not forward.
This is not the party of Bobby Kennedy.
No, it's not. It's not.
The party of now. Here's the thing: what they're gonna do with Bobby Kennedy? They're gonna call him a nut job.
Yeah.
They're gonna call him a wacko. They're gonna call him a conspiracy. They're gonna call him anything to discredit him.
Yeah.
But his whole family came from your party, Harris. I'm talking to Harris's party because he said on his speech yesterday, I tried to call Harris and she didn't want to talk to me.
Yeah.
Because it looks bad that a family who was all up in your party for 6 decades wants to leave because says they don't longer recognize the party, what you want to happen in this country as far as teaching sex to our kids, having boys go in girls' bathrooms. Everyone has to have a pronoun. And not just that, the worst part, okay, that's bad, but that's not the worst part. The worst part is they don't know how to manage their pinche money.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's definitely.
That's what's going to hurt the raza more than anything, is that they don't know how to manage money. And what she said she's going to do on day one, her day one was January of 2021. Gente,
Yeah.
come on, keep it real.
Yeah. No,
So, anyways, we're not buying the bullshit, but let's put politics on the end. I want to keep it moving, gente. There's been I wanted to get your opinion on other things that have been happening.
Yes.
Stuff that's been happening for podcasters, rappers,
Yeah.
On YouTube, Landia, Chicano Street. One of them that came across my feed, did you see Gotos?
Yes.
Has been trending lately.
Yeah, much left to go to.
Gotos, he's a pioneer. He put on for, I want to say Northern California, but I really say California in general because his merging of black and brown was something that wasn't done.
No.
It wasn't done. It wasn't done. No one else had come out and said, you know what, we're going to do this and put the people
Yeah,
together.
yeah.
But Gotos did it. So shout out to him. He's a visionary, but he's catching bullets.
He is because he's a threat. He's a threat to other I want to say labels, because he has the potential to make rappers from LA, shout out Baldacci, to explode on a different level. He's a distributor, Gotos. So Gotos has the ability to distribute music like from Baldacci and spread it nationwide, maybe even global. But unfortunately, the crowds in the bucket mentality is not only a raza thing; it's a music industry thing. Some labels and some artists don't want artists like Baldacci to come out on top, because then they look bad and then they don't make money. They rather stay at a lower level and make a steady income than have a rapper from LA that's actually from LA blow up. And these people, they use their money to pay others to smut these people's names that are only trying to make money. They're not dividing. They're not saying, hey, don't fuck with this person, don't fuck with that person. They're trying to make money with people that are not from their areas. They're building. That's what they're doing. And these crabs that belong to music labels or own them, they're all just trying to pay their way to smut up their names, make them look bad, so that their mediocre careers can stay alive.
Now it looked bad because you have artists that were once or still signed to Goto's label, but then all of a sudden they're just putting it out there.
Yeah.
And it's like, damn, what a conflict of interest. Like, if he's still distributing their music,
Yeah.
and these artists, I mean, is it bite the hand that feeds you, or does anyone see it like that? Because again, it's like he's saying, there was an artist that said on the internet,
Yeah.
he's saying he's exploiting. He's exploiting. That's a strong word, man. What do you think? Exploiting?
Exploiting. I mean, that means you're not making shit money. But I know of a what's it called? A label owner that tends to say, hey, if you didn't read the contract, well, that's on you.
Hello.
I mean, and for the most part, even though he sounded like an asshole, probably is an asshole for saying that, it's facts. As an artist, you got to read the contract. You got to, or pay somebody to read it for you, because you really don't want to get stuck in a contract where you're going to lose out. And that's the one thing they don't teach you as being an artist. They don't teach you the business side of it, and it's very important. If people are starting to give you attention, that's when you know you need to start learning this stuff. Because if you don't learn it, you're gonna end up signing a contract where you're gonna make like 10 albums and get paid for one.
Damn it. So yeah, I came across my feed and I started thinking. I said, "Damn, is that like bite the hand that feeds you?" Because he did put on. Sometimes I'm gonna keep it real with you. Sometimes you see someone elevating to another level, and you still on this level, and sometimes it's like take a shot at him. I get it, and then you try to pull the street card on him, which, I mean, it never needs to go there. Are we doing business or are we doing street shit? That's what I was saying last time when we're talking about the food community and what happened over there. Someone gets a phone call and they want you to run a guest off the couch. That's not business.
Yeah.
That's street shit. So
Yeah.
are we doing street shit or are we doing business?
That's what I'm saying. And it's interesting because there's a certain thing happening right now. Are you familiar with a person called Mr. Beast?
Yes.
That's exactly what's happening to him. A lot of his ex-employees or people he fired are now exposing him for cheating his way to the top. Meaning that he paid for actors to act on these charity things that he does.
Damn it.
These gaming events where people supposedly win money.
You mean
where his
staging the videos?
Yes, staging the videos. So they're exposing not only that, but the bigger one is that in one scenario he had an assistant or somebody that was up there in the company that ended up having a chomo case.
Oh shit.
So I mean that's gonna happen. I mean somebody at Mr. Beast level, and this guy's he's like at the top of the YouTube world. He's not the top.
It's always a boo, when it comes to the children.
Yeah.
And again, that's another topic that people are throwing around in politics that they don't want to talk about. And no one in politics, except certain politicians, want to talk about what's policies, and the rest of them just want to brainwash us with pulling the most popular rappers at our conventions and putting the most popular actors and they think you and I are this stupid that if you give me the most trendingest actors, rappers, and artists, that we're supposed to just not give a shit about what your policies are, and we're just supposed to vote for you?
Yeah, but
come on.
It's because the thing is, look, some of these
the raza ain't that dumb. We ain't dumb at all.
But you know what? The thing, some of these actors, I mean, some of them probably do get paid to do it, but some of them are actually brainwashed to believe in what they're saying because they still think it's the same Democratic Party of their parents' time. They still think it's that same party or their grandparents' time. So they actually kind of believe what they're saying. And that's the thing. It's hard to not convince, but tell a hardcore Democrat, bro, they're doing this and this and this and this. This is wrong. But for them, no, I don't believe you. Even though you have the paperwork to show all this stuff what they're doing, they still won't believe you. They're a hardcore Democrat through and through. I'm like, I don't know what to tell you.
I know, and I wasn't even meaning to talk politics all the way until the end, but I guess you just can't. I mean, there was it happens.
Yeah.
It was an epic speech yesterday. I mean,
it was a good move. It was a good move for Trump. It was a good move for RFK because he knew he wasn't going to win. He knew, but he has principles. RFK has principles. I mean, you see his family, where it comes from, and he knows that Trump would be a better candidate than la mala.
Que mala eres.
Que la
Okay,
mala.
gente, they're going to call Bobby Kennedy a nut job, a quack, and all this other shit. But if you had two people, let me ask the people this, and Norbeez could chime in. If you had two people, a grandpa and an uncle, get unalived by snipers, it was a hit. Every time that happened to Bobby Kennedy's family, it was a hit. People call it a curse. I don't know if it's a curse or not. I believe in curses.
That's a hit, though. That was a hit.
It was a hit.
You seen that new video?
But I do believe in curses, too.
But have you seen that video where they're showing it?
I'm just saying, why would it be wrong for him to question shit?
Yeah, well, yeah, you're right about that.
What if that happened to you and all of a sudden you people in your family got hit and you started questioning things and all of a sudden they started calling you a whack job? Come on, that don't make sense.
That doesn't make sense. Nah, man. But have you seen that video they're showing? It keeps popping up on my Instagram feed where it shows.
Which one way?
It shows the passenger in JFK's car, they slow motion, and they show him going like this to Kennedy. Have you seen that?
No.
And that's when his head goes back.
Are you talking about for JFK?
JFK? Yeah. The guy sitting in the front passenger seat really quickly goes.
That's not what the world saw.
Oh yeah.
That's not the world saw. His head slumping in his lap or something like that. No,
that slow mo shows his head going.
Oh shit!
And then you see his wifey bounce. Now wait, let me ask you a thing. You think the wifey should have stayed in that car with him, or you think it was the right thing to do for her to bounce? Because she bounced off the car.
She did she get pushed off by like
No, she
Secret
bounced.
Service?
No, she crawled from the back and popped out.
I don't think that was her doing way. That was probably Secret Service that pushed her.
No,
away.
no. It shows her like climbing out of the car and leaving it.
I don't know. Damn. In the moment, that looks bad. That probably looks bad, right? Like you would want someone to
But
be
you know,
there,
that makes more
especially your last
sense.
moments.
That makes more sense if she saw dude in front of him, like actually turn around and pop her husband. So she realized, oh, if this dude's willing to pop my husband, pretty sure he's gonna pop me next.
Now, why did they end up pulling the dude to Ruby, whatever his name was? I forgot his name. Why did they pull him out from the back of the police station and put him in front of the press and all the cameras and everything? And reports say that he was claiming that he didn't remember a thing about what just happened, and then all of a sudden people started speculating MK Ultra, where there was a government project CIA funded to just wipe your memory clean and use you as an instrument to go and whack people.
Well, I mean,
I don't know.
MK Ultra was born here in California. That was a project. That was a pet project from UCLA, and then they got tested out in I think in San
Bay
Francisco.
Area.
It got tested out there.
Yup.
And you know who was? It was a therapist was the one that was actually conducting the test. A therapist from UCLA. He was doing the testing in San Francisco. And guess who his
Puppet.
who's his puppet or client was?
Guinea pig.
Yeah, guess who it was?
Manson.
You got it. So you know the story. Yep, Manson was his guinea pig.
Manson. And this MK Ultra doctor was documented visiting Charles Manson in San Quentin several visits when he was only a petty thief.
Yep.
He was only stealing shit,
Mind
stealing people's wallets and bags.
But he got in the program because he did serve in the military.
And then after this guy came and visited him, again, this is a different time.
Yeah.
It could be happening now because they can cover anything up, especially when they control shit.
That's why I don't go to therapy.
Stay away. But I'm just saying, and then Manson got out and when Manson got out, he went on a spree.
Well, that's the
and
thing.
he leaded a cult.
Yeah.
He did something that was just, he turned into a maniac.
Manson was a charmer, though. Yeah, he had skills. He was a charmer and he had skills. Because out of all the things that happened, he never took out anybody. It was the followers that took out people.
Damn.
That's crazy.
Damn, that was crazy, man. But anyway, I don't even know how we got into MK Ultra. But
MK Ultra.
with Bobby Kennedy, they're gonna start calling him a whack job because it's huge that the Kennedys leave parties. It just goes to show you sometimes people bang red and blue, and it has to be Democrat or nada.
Yeah.
And a lot of Mexicanos got taught, we vote for Democrat because we're raza.
Well, yeah, but no, we vote Democrat because Democrats did a lot for us back then. They did a lot for us.
Examples.
I mean, as far as Democrats, the Democrats that did a lot for us were Chicanos that were Democrats back then. Not the Chicanos of now. The Chicanos of back then. I mean, even the what, and I want to bring this up because lately the word Chicano and raza has been dragged through the mud.
How do you say?
It's been stained. It's
getting overused?
No, it's not getting overused. It's being abused. It's getting raped. The people are using these names to destroy it. I mean, things that were sacred are not sacred. People are using Chicano as anybody can use it. It's for everybody. It's not for everybody. They don't know the past of what it meant to be a Chicano. They didn't know the struggles of how it became important, how it became a special name. People don't know these things. They don't look back in the history that is Chicano and see why it's so special.
Did you ever research it? Because obviously where you're from, it was that really is Chicano headquarters. The really Chicano movement came over there. So what if I tell you, there's some YouTubers, there's some podcasters, and they say, well, Chicano, they don't have to be Mexican. I mean, what do you think about that? Do Chicano? Okay, open up the Stella,
Yeah.
and then let us know what you think about that, because some people say maybe according to some of the movies, maybe they watch movies like Miklo, and they get a different idea of what Chicano means. What do you think?
I want to say Chicano is definitely a Mexican American thing.
Come on, toe to toe.
Even Marvelous has his own beliefs as that word. I tend to base the meaning of it through history, you know. And you're right. Chicano is LA would be considered East Los, if anything. East Los would be considered Chicano headquarters because of the things that were done. I mean, everybody that made a difference that was Chicano came from there. I mean, Cesar Chavez, Dolores Huerta, Edward Roybal. I don't know if you're familiar with that guy. All these people came from there. But you know the interesting part is that
Tell me.
a lot of these people, their parents were farm workers, fruit pickers. They were proud that they were Mexican American. They were proud of everything. But what the one thing that made these people, that connected these people, is that they had a mouth. They talk. They wouldn't stay quiet. You have in Boyle Heights, you had an organization called Community Service Organization, the COS. I don't know if you ever heard of the COS.
No.
But the COS was pretty much the birth of us having any kind of political power in this country. Like I said, I mentioned Edward Roybal.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, just listening to his last name, Roybal. I mean, that doesn't even sound Spanish.
Right.
But this guy was a Mexican American. This guy became a congressman for 40 years. Became a city council member. He pretty much, he was everything except being a president. But he came from Boyle Heights.
Okay.
You know, and all these other people came from Boyle Heights that even up here in the north, the community, or wait, that name, the OCS.
Up here, you know, we had the United Farm Workers. They were popping for a little bit. Their registry was about 80-90% of the raza registered them.
Yeah.
But now the United Farm Workers basically turned into a political party, and now they got less than 20% of the laborers. But it's a lot has to do with the raza doesn't know why. Well, why would they leave? Was there backstabbing? Was there betrayal? No, it was none of that. It was the labor laws changed, and now they finally got benefits. Now they got overtime, time and a half, PTO, sick days, family leave, where they didn't need no more representation and their check cut to give it to someone else. They said, give me the 25%. Give me the 20-15%, whatever it was. I don't know.
That's what I'm saying. Like the CSO, they actually came up here. I think you had a few chapters up here up north. Clearly one of the northern organizations, their hero was Cesar Chavez, right?
It was a leader, big leader.
He was a big leader.
Big leader.
Huerta, and he originally came from the COS. He was
LA.
LA
always has deep roots.
He was part of that organization that was mainly all Chicano. Their whole thing was to help the community. Their whole thing was to build infrastructure for us.
So, do you have to be Mexican to be Chicano, or have some Mexican in you?
You do have to have some Mexican in you, because these people
get mad.
These people that push this Chicano, the raza, they put in the work to give us rights. They still, I mean, look, you think of school segregation, right?
Yeah.
Most of the country is going to think, oh, it came from the southeast, the southeast, right?
Right.
The east. It came from there. No, when segregation was first fought was here in California. It was here by raza. They started to the breaking apart segregation. We had a guy named in I think Orange County. He was the one that started the first case to stop segregation, which he succeeded. And that was in 1947. The segregation that happened in the East Coast, that didn't happen until 1954.
Damn, man. I'm telling you.
So we definitely laid a foundation so everyone could have rights. And that's the thing about us. We're not just trying to get rights for us. We're not trying to get benefits just for us. We want benefits and rights for everyone. And I say that because I do see a lot of other podcasters that tend not to give us credit, tend to say, well, what have the Browns ever done for this country? Well, there you go. We started to stop segregation in schools.
What do you think about that comment?
Which one?
Highlighted green. Lefty gunplay is Chicano.
And he is Guatemalan, half white. You know, it's interesting because I saw a TikToker that, I don't know if it's true, he's pushing the narrative that he is 50% Guatemalan and 50% white. I do believe the white...
Let's just say that's the case, though. What would be your decision? What would Judge Norbeez say if he was giving blue check marks on Chicano Street to Lefty gunplay? Would he give him a blue check mark, or would he have to say, you know what, you can kick it, but you don't get the title?
You know
Negra,
what? You know
real
what?
quick before I say anything, Negra and LA Icon, they kind of discussed this back and forth. Yeah. And Negra said he's not claiming he's Chicano. So I just wanted to put that out there. Oh, really? Yo, he's not claiming he's Chicano, but he's claiming he's Raza.
Okay. Well, you know what?
Raza is all-encompassing?
And I'm with that. I'm okay with Raza. I don't want people saying that, you know, hey, no, us Mexicans, we got to get together and back them up. No, we don't have to do that. When we come together, it's because it's for everyone, not just for one person. We don't do for one person. We do for everyone. And this is why Chicano means so much to me, because that organization is that name was created and got special meaning behind it, because their beliefs is to help everyone, not just us, but everyone. That's why they're successful. That's why they're at the top right now. We don't see them because we only see the bottom parts. We don't take the time to see who really are our leaders. If we took the time to see who our leaders were, then we could actually understand how all these things happen.
That's right. Shout out to the new subscriber. I appreciate you for subscribing. Gracias. San Jonero says they're not Chicanos if they're Central American. Again, going back to what I was saying, and I don't know what it was. You know what it was? This is one of these things that I did when I rebranded the channel.
Yeah.
And I think I might have added lighter fluid to something. Yeah. But I guess it was something people wanted to talk about. And I said, but wait a second. I check all the boxes, right? First generation Mexican-American, 100% descendancy comes from Mexico, but I'm born here in the United States. Hence, this kind of unique identity where it's like two cultures with two nationalities, where it's the American side because we're born here, which no one can say we're not American, because actually I went to school with nothing but blonde hair and blue-eyed kids. 50% of the classroom was blonde.
You went to school in Germany. That's where you went.
With the Reich. I went to school with the Third Reich. No, and then if someone was trying to tell me, oh, you're not Mexican, I'm like, wait a second. My mom wears the manteles. Mi abuelita, and all my summers until I was in middle school were spent in Mexico, either in Jalisco or in Michoacan. So someone telling me that is ridiculous. Someone telling me I'm not American. And the Chicano thing, well, obviously, it's the culmination of the both.
Well, that's the thing, too. You know, we do love our roots, and our roots are definitely Mexican. But we also understand that if we're part of this system. We're part of this American system. You had, like, for instance, the guy said Edward Roybal. When he won the city council in Los Angeles, when they announced him in the city council, to recognize him, they said, and here is the Mexican councilman, Edward Roybal. He speaks Spanish, Mexican.
Okay.
So they pointed out that he's Mexican. Edward Roybal had to say, excuse me, even though I have a Mexican background, I am 100% American. I was born in this country. I am part of this system. There's no need for you to, single me out as the Mexican in this. Because he was the first one. He was the first one in that city council to be a Mexican. So they wanted to point out that this is the Mexican guy. It's funny because him, this other guy named, his name, I don't know why I always forget his name, but his name is
That's right. Hit that pinche like. Norbeez is in the casa live on Chicano Tube, live on Chicano Street. He's going into Chicano history right now, giving us a 101 saying it came from East LA.
Yes, we have a man named by the name Anthony P. Rios. Nobody knows who this guy is. This guy was one of the founders of the CSO. This guy made. This guy was a 15-year-old working the farms. Working the farms as a 15-year-old, right? And unfortunately, back in the days, you could only work when the harvest was going on. No harvest, you don't work.
Okay.
Where are you going to get money?
Well, that makes sense.
Nowhere, right?
Right.
So he made it so that he could organize so that they can get money while there wasn't any harvest. Because otherwise, they're homeless during the winter.
Chingado.
So he organized. This is a 15-year-old that was doing these things. He came to L.A., started organizing in L.A. He first made headlines because him and his friend, I forgot his friend's name, but
and he was in the Chicano moratorium.
As far as what?
As far as participating in the marches or something, because there was something in that moratorium.
Well, this is the part about this individual.
Because someone died that was like a leader.
That might have been the journalist you're thinking.
Okay,
someone journalist. But this guy, he first made headlines in L.A. because he was arrested by the LAPD. Because they arrested him and his friend, they got arrested because they accused him of beating up policemen.
Damn.
The thing was that these policemen were beating up another Chicano. They were beating on him. But the thing was that...
Was this pre-civil rights?
Yes.
Yeah, back then it was you get your ass whooped.
Yeah. So the thing was that they weren't wearing their uniform when they were beating up this Chicano. So obviously, hey, you see a fellow Chicano getting their ass beat by these gringos. What are you gonna do? You're gonna go and
whoop somebody's
ass. Exactly.
That's what the hell I'm gonna do.
So the court got this. They got dismissed. They didn't go to jail. They made headlines. But what was special about this guy is that he started the first Costco, in Boyle Heights. He started a community program where the community would pay to be a member, but he would sell, necessities, toilet paper, soap, detergent, but at a super affordable price, as long as, people that were members, paid into it. Soon enough, they made enough money to open up their own credit union.
Hello.
Once they started opening up their own credit unions, they started giving out loans, house loans, business loans. Because during that time, they weren't giving loans to us. They weren't trying to let us have houses over there.
Shit.
Interestingly enough, the CSO, that credit union, was actually the ones that gave out most of the loans where Dodger Stadium is at now. I don't know if you're familiar with Buried Under the Blue.
Let's talk about that right now. Hold on real quick. I want to talk about that because that's something that a lot of the raza doesn't know about.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, I need a refill, cabrón. I need a refill. Let me go ahead and text for the refill. Live on Chicano Street, we got Norbeez. Let's talk about what do you call it? Dodger. What's the whole scandalo called?
It was
Dodger
Palos
State.
Verdes. Palos Verdes. I think that was called back then.
That's the name of the neighborhood?
Palos Verdes. Back then. I think back then. Don't quote me on that.
What are the documentaries called? It's called Buried Under
the Blue. Because technically there is an elementary school that Raza Chicanos used to go to that's literally buried under Dodger Stadium. If you go to the park near Dodger Stadium, you'll see some of the old houses that were there.
Wait. Can you give a time? Like, we're going to have to rewind this back.
Yeah.
There was a time, probably, I don't know if it was in the black and white TV days or in the color TV days.
Sometime in the 60s.
Like I said, I don't know if it was
late 50s when the Dodgers were trying to push to come to LA.
Right. That's what I mean.
And LA County needed that property because that's what they wanted. So, but before that, the CSO, the credit union, was the one that were giving out the loans to build these houses for Chicanos. That area was Chicano. Still is. But the Dodgers and the LA County work together, or the city of LA work together.
Did the Dodgers originate in LA?
No.
Or they were moving from another city?
They're moving from New York.
Oh.
They're originating from Brooklyn.
So LA made the money move like they do today.
Yeah.
I mean, LA got some money.
But-
Let's keep this a buck.
But they tricked the city.
Like
Tricked
like the Yankees have
yeah.
money.
Yeah, there you
Come
go.
on.
But they tricked the community there. They told them, look, the Dodgers want to build their stadium here. We need you guys to move. What we're gonna do is give you guys money and land to move there, so you could build new houses and you could move over there, so the Dodgers can move in. And okay, when the community said, okay, that's cool. When the day came, none of those contracts were happening anymore. None of those checks were coming.
A 42 fake, we like to call it up
There
here
you
north.
go. There you go.
They promised you one thing and gave you another.
Yep. So, and then that's when the city was forcing the people out, literally dragging them out of their homes
Damn.
so the Dodgers can move in. Now, Barry on the Blue, their beef is with the Dodgers. And yes, the Dodgers definitely played a major role, but the city is the one that played the biggest role. Because it wasn't the Dodgers that told the people, hey, we're going to give you money and we're going to give you land. That was the city telling them that. And then they turned it on them. Okay, sorry, you're not getting shit.
Give the summary. Okay, no matter what. Okay, so the red tape happens. That means whatever political moves, money gets given, whatever.
Yeah.
There's a neighborhood that they want to develop on. And then what happens? And then in this these homes that are there, what are their homes in apartment complexes, or what was the name of the neighborhood?
Ah, shoot.
Damn, we might have to look that up
We're going to
right
have to
there.
look that up, yeah.
I have to look that one up right there on
Yeah.
Chicano Street.
Right?
204-6967. That's right. So you guys, we are taking phone calls, you guys. So if anytime you want to go ahead and interject, feel free. The phone number is right here at the bottom right. Okay. That's the neighborhood.
Yeah.
So the money gets given, all the
There's no
politics
money.
happen.
They didn't give any money. That's the thing. When it was time to give the money, there was no money. So because there was no money, the people didn't want to leave.
Okay, then continue the story. How do we get to Buried Under the Blue? Come on, give it to me. Give it to the people.
So when it was time, okay, hey, the city, the police came. Hey, you guys got to go because they're gonna start bulldozing. They're gonna start, they're doing all their shit they got to do to build the stadium. Well, the people say, okay, that's fine, but where's the money? Where's our land? Where's all these things you guys said we were gonna give us? Yeah, okay, well you're gonna have to wait for those. But aside from that, you got to go. But they're saying, no, we're not going to go. We're going to lose our home. Where are we going to go? That's not our problem. You guys signed the contract that you guys would leave. And that's when the people said, fuck no, we're not leaving. So that's when you get those pictures of people getting carried out of their homes. And Buried Under the Blue was created by family members of the people in those pictures.
Damn.
Because what they want, they know they're not going to get the property back. They know they're not going to get the money back. What they do want from the Dodgers is to pay for learning centers, 3 learning centers that I guess from what they said will be named after the communities that were destroyed because of the Dodgers. That's their demand. They're still in this fight. They're still pushing the hope that eventually happens. But honestly, LA County, the city of LA definitely owes an apology to that community, to their descendants, to their people.
Which were Mexicans.
Which are Mexican.
Most
American
of them.
Raza. Yeah, Chicanos.
Yeah. Damn.
Yeah,
And there's
man.
is there a lawsuit going on where they want reparate?
There should be, because there was a family, a black family that owned land. I want to say in Manhattan Beach or somewhere in that area, where their land their property got taken away by the city also. Except like I think 2 years ago, 3 years ago, the city finally gave it back to them because it's rightfully theirs. So I mean, I would hope that the city does right by them and actually gives it back to them, or at least compensates them so enough they'll be happy. They want 3 learning centers, as far as I know, so that they can teach the community and train them so things like that wouldn't happen to them anymore.
ALG Entertainment, that's right. My boy, he's from the Central Valley right there. That's my brother right there, Alfonso. He says the Dodgers wanted Kilroy to play for them back in the days. Damn it. Rest in peace, Kilroy. He just passed away.
Yeah.
Did you ever see the movie Kilroy?
No.
It was directed, DP'd by Paul from LA Times.
Really?
Yeah. He's a producer.
Wow.
He's up in the game. Yeah, so I think it's on Tubi. The last time I remember Paul from LA Times saying it was on Tubi.
All right, I gotta check that out.
He came, Paul from LA Times. Shout out to you, cabron. Paul from LA Times. Yeah. Close friend with Big Joe Castro. These are all just level-headed individuals on some grown man shit.
Real
Been
shit.
there, done that. Nothing impresses. He came to the Cholo Trucker, the last fight that we had with Content Creator Series of Fighting. But Kilroy, he's the story of a Chicano that has talent. Like, fuck, he could have gone all the way in baseball, scholarship, knocking home runs out. But you know what happens? There's the story of a Chicano who grows up in the neighborhood. That's right. Salinas OG, I appreciate you, cabron. Gracias. That's right. He's been a member for day one. 11 months. That's right. Real men vote Republican. Okay, we're banging on him now.
Hey.
Real men vote Democrats. Well, you know, he's probably thinking about the kids and women being men being women.
Hey, let's not forget, it was a Republican that did amnesty.
First God, familia, and he says MAGA. But shout out. Let me highlight the comment for the super chat. I mean, for one of my members. So what I'm saying is that a lot of people didn't know that, man. There's a lot of us, raza, that had talent, man. But because we grew up in the neighborhoods, like me, okay, I grew up in Salinas, right?
Yeah.
A lot of people don't know this, but let's go ahead. This is the crash out. Matter of fact, let me get another drink over here. We need more truth serum.
There you go.
If you want me to tell the truth and nothing but the truth, so help me God, we got Norbeez in the building. Shout out to Norbeez live on Chicano Street. And let me finish my point about where I grew up.
Yeah.
Every once in a while, I'll mention it, but really this is stuff that I put more in the members only. Because, you know, it could be seen as, you're saying this and you're saying that to be a tough guy. No, I'm not. I'm nobody, man. I don't give a shit what anyone thinks. But anyway, salud. Over to the raza before we go ahead and spit these facts. All right. What about the chat? What's going on with the chat, cabron?
Oh, hey, shout out to Marvelous. Órale, who's this vato? Shout out to Marvelous Minds. If you guys haven't subscribed to his page, please do so. That guy, man, that guy is an
Marvelous
anchor.
In the casa. I appreciate you, cabron.
If there was an anchor for East Los as far as culture, it's Marvelous.
Now, let me also say this. We've been giving out Chicano check marks, right, all evening. Yeah. Another one that has a Chicano, so his Chicano verified is Marvelous Minds. I just wanted to mention that. Yeah. So there's no question about that, all right? Marvelous Minds, Chicano verified. He's one of the few channels that's trying to educate the people.
Yes. He doesn't talk about the bullshit. His whole motive to being on YouTube is to just educate as far as health, as far as culture, as far as the past and the present and the future. This is why I love listening to him, because that's all he wants to talk. He wants to have a conversation, a real conversation, not talk about bullshit that doesn't help us.
That sometimes we talk about here. We get the chisme too sometimes.
Yeah,
What's crazy is we're talking about RFK's speech, right?
Yes.
One of the things he said, this is huge, the Kennedys have left the Democrat Party. Yeah. And I'm not saying they're Republicans now. I'm just saying they're supporting Uncle Trump and his run, because he said that they said, Bobby Kennedy said yesterday in an epic speech, those values and of the Democratic Party back when his grandpa and uncles, the ones who were assassinated, all they believed in, is not the same party of today. They were talking about one of the three principal things that he was running on, Bobby Kennedy, censorship. Yeah. He was against censorship. He was against the war, which they've spent, gente. The war in Ukraine now has a price tag of $200 billion. $200 billion has gone to Ukraine, while we're over here talking about the southern border. People are sick. Healthcare. Okay, but anyways.
That blows my mind, man. How does a Ukrainian actor pull that much money out of us? A Ukrainian actor.
The third, this is what I was getting to because Marvelous is in the comments. Shout out to you. The third thing he was big on and was running his whole campaign. It was like a pillar of his.
Yes, yeah.
A pillar is something that you're always gonna. They say someone that has a message, like a preacher, advocate, or politician, has 2 or 3 pillars.
Yeah.
This was his third pillar: chronic disease.
Yeah.
Chronic disease. Bobby Kennedy talked about how these pesticides, these chemicals are banned in other countries, yet in the United States they want you and me to eat shit. To a lot of people didn't know this. Like when you go to the grocery stores, they're spraying chemicals all over the vegetables, and we are surrounded by fields. You know this. You just drove up here.
Yeah.
You just seen all the fields around you when you pulled up.
Yes.
All of those fields, these helicopters are flying over these pinchy fields, and they're spraying the crops. Psst,
Yeah.
They're spraying the crops with chemicals.
Yeah.
And Bobby Kennedy was anti chronic disease, which he said could be solved with the obesity problem. 70% of the United States. 70% of the United States is obese.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And they want us to eat artificial food, GMOs, preservatives. I'm not talking about the good tacos.
Yeah.
Eat those good tacos, raza.
Yeah.
Don't get
Hell
that twisted. Eat the
Hell
sopes, eat the enchiladas, because our abuelitas cook from ingredients that were not made in McDonald's.
Yep.
Or GMOs, which are genetically modified organisms. Something like that. I forgot what it is. But what do you think about that?
I mean, and I'm glad you pointed it out.
Chronic disease.
Because that is what our government is pushing. And this is why I tell people, and it's funny because since Marlis is on here, I want to point this out. This is the same government that runs NASA. And people want to believe what NASA has to say. Same government that tells you smoking cigarettes was a good thing for you back in the day. Eating sugar every day was a good thing for you. This is the same government that was telling us these things. RFK is right. We need to stop listening to them. We need to have real leaders that would change policies that would keep us from freaking being obese, dying, getting diabetes, getting all these things that we shouldn't be, that didn't exist before 1950.
You know what's crazy? It's that's absolutely insane, man. A lot of people didn't know this, raza. The big nicotine companies, the ones that own all of the pinchy tobacco. I'm talking Marlboro.
Yeah.
I'm talking Camel. I'm talking the large nicotine companies. Once they started bringing awareness of how nicotine was addictive and was fucking you up, like killing you.
Yeah.
Like I had an uncle, rest in peace.
Yeah.
An uncle, rest in peace. He was developing lung cancer because he would pack the pipe. He would fucking pack that pipe. And they told him stop smoking. He was hardcore. And once they brought awareness to all of what nicotine was harming, the raza was harming the people. Nicotine, cigarros, right?
Yeah.
They ended up, once there was awareness and the numbers went down, guess what the next power move was for the major nicotine companies? It was purchasing and developing artificial foods. The artificial food companies, and we're talking about anything that's not grown in the fields, anything that doesn't come from the ground, raza.
You mean like that fake beef?
Oh, well, let's just, okay, look at the gas stations, okay? The gas stations got racks and racks and racks of shit that was not grown organically.
Yeah.
Let's just keep that a buck.
Yeah.
We're talking about anything that was made, right? The big nicotine companies own the biggest food processing companies. And since the nicotine companies know how to get you addicted, they did the research. They knew you were going to get addicted to those pinchy cigarros. Now they said, let's get them addicted to this shit because at the end of the day, it's all about money. Just like the doctors. They don't give a shit. A lot of people that have HMOs and have the most basic deduction from their paycheck to get the cheapest insurance because, well, we all got to have insurance. You know, they'll fine your ass. Like Obama was fining your ass and taxing you. Uncle Trump wasn't, but Obama was fining your ass.
He took it away, and then Biden brought it back.
I'm just saying. You know what I mean? They're getting you addicted now on these processing, and they're causing us to get obese.
Yeah.
And that's what Bobby Kennedy was talking about. I'm all for health. I'm all for ending wars. Yeah. $200 billion, we could have brought that money right back here. But there's other people that want to keep pumping pallets of money to war.
Yep. And since we're speaking on things like that, let me bring up another Chicano fact. When we had that polio crisis in the U.S., the CDC was very underfunded at the time. The CDC, I forgot what do you remember what CDC stands for? The CDC, the
Center for Disease Control.
Center for Disease Control. They're very underfunded. The guy that funded the CDC, that got money for the CDC during that polio epidemic, was Edward Roybal. He was the one that got the money for them to be able to eradicate polio in the U.S. That was a Chicano. The CDC goes on to say that if it wasn't for that guy getting us money, a lot of people would have died. A Chicano did that.
Hello. Shout out to him. Live on Chicano Tube, live on Chicano Street. We're drinking some more True Serum right here with Norbeez in the casa.
Yes,
something else crossed my feed I wanted to ask you about. Did you end up seeing Alex Enamorado? He ended up leaving his previous attorney, and now he hired a new attorney. They raised the GoFundMe, $40K. Yeah. He's facing a lot of years behind incarceration. On top of that, it's an INS case.
Yeah.
Because he wasn't born here.
Yeah.
And so I wanted to get your take on the whole Alex Enamorado situation. Did you support what he was doing? Do you think what's being done to him is just, unjust? What do you think about that? And right now they're trying to fundraise $40,000 because lawyers aren't cheap.
Yeah, they're not. Especially for that kind of case.
It's a big profile case. What do you think about that?
You know what? I've known Alex since I want to say 2000.
Personally?
Yeah. Well, I've worked with him in several podcasts where I would conversate with him. We're right in front of each other. We're talking.
Gotcha.
And let's see, since 2000, I want to say 2021. I've known him since then. We've talked. He's always had a good heart as far as what protecting the raza, the people. You know, he's always, but unfortunately, at the end of it all, I'll say he got sloppy. He got sloppy. The things he was doing, he needed to really strategize because he knew that they were looking at him. He knew he was causing an uproar. He knew several people already wanted him taken out. People were making phone calls. Hey, keep an eye on this guy. Keep records on him.
They raided him at 4 a.m.
Yeah, that I want to say that was probably like a...
Remember that video?
Yeah.
You saw the video?
That's probably like a 3-6 month operation. They were watching him. They were watching him because, unfortunately, he pissed off too many counties. And these people started working together. If you ever want to see how counties work together...
They make phone calls.
That's the case. That's the case where you'll see corruption. People using their power and abusing it to take out one guy. Because this one guy put out so much facts, made these people look bad, that these people had to make phone calls. I'm not gonna lie, I kind of relate to this whole situation where somebody had to make phone calls to take you down. And this is what happened to him. People made phone calls. They started working together. They started saying, hey, you got this on him? Yeah, you got this on him? Yeah, we got this.
So you've been following it from the beginning?
They've been working to build this case against him. But that's the thing. Unfortunately, he couldn't see what was happening. He was way too into it. He was going to these podcasts. He was trying to create shows. And it's crazy because, you know, I support him. But a lot of these podcasts that he went to, you don't hear him talk about them anymore.
So what do you think about they do got some evidence of some aggressiveness, hitting people,
was he aggressive?
jumping on cars?
Yeah. I don't believe he was dumb enough to jump on cars.
Going on front lawns of mayor's houses.
But as far as aggressive, yeah, because the one thing Alex did do was do his research. He found out the limits of what he can and can't do. This is why there's a case, because they don't. Otherwise, they would have already convicted him. But because he knew the law, he knew his limitations. They got to prove that he went beyond those limitations, and that's something that is difficult for them to do. Because Alex did his research as far as what he can and can't do. Did he go too far? No. No, he didn't go too far.
Because maybe there's more awareness that needs to be brought.
You look at American history and see what they did to us.
Hello.
That is nothing compared to what they've done to us. They treated us like dogs. They made sure we didn't get paid. They didn't want to give us loans. They would arrest us just because we were brown.
Well, back then before civil rights days, obviously, and we didn't get it as bad as the Africanos. We didn't get it as bad as the Africanos, but we did get it bad because
we didn't get it that bad because they weren't here during that time. They were developing the east side. They tried to do that. And this is why Mexico lost Texas, because those people that were trying to do the slavery, they were trying to do that in Texas while it was still Mexico.
Did you ever see the video of the Africana and she said that Mexico owned black slaves?
I did, and then it was very stupid. Hey, with all due respect, it was very stupid. Because
was it just for clout? It was for clout.
No, it's not just for clout. It was just misinformation, because at this.
And what's the truth?
Because a lot of people are making up all these stories about what happened back then. I'm like, if that were true, that doesn't make sense. Why would you make another group slaves and not the other group slaves? And then why would that other group let those guys have slaves? That doesn't even make sense, because obviously that group's going to be like, well, if they're going to make those people slaves, what's going to stop them from making us into slaves? That's not going to happen.
Was there even any culture that didn't own slaves? Because almost
on that side of the world, it was a normal thing. They want to say we had slaves here. We didn't have slaves here. We had tribes, and we might have taken prisoners of war, not slaves. There's a big difference when you say that, because tribes had wars, and you had prisoners of war, and you make them work.
Chingado, man. Live on Chicano 2, live on Chicano Street. Okay, Farmero, there's a day one right there from Salas, where chavalas get balas. He says, what do you think about this, Norbeez? In my opinion, Alex was doing the same exact thing as the cancel culture, but people supported that because he was defending the raza. He also did a lot of public humiliation, which can be illegal, there was videos out that he was putting people on their knees, apologizing, hands behind their head, kind of like borderline. But again, in the scheme of things,
you really got to get the backstory. The people that he might have gotten to do that is because they did something. And they probably asked him, what can I do to get forgiveness? Oh, well, you could get on your knees and ask for forgiveness. And that's exactly what they did. They got on their knees and asked for forgiveness.
The behind the scenes right there.
But
he's
going
back
back,
here.
and I'll say this one thing. His political views are definitely the opposite of mine. Because I definitely have had arguments with him when it came to certain political views. His political views are like the opposite of mine. And that's the one thing. But I don't ever mix political views with their personal actions, or their actions to the public. Because what he did for the gente, as far as for the street vendors, that was something that needs to be done, needs to keep getting done. Because our people are there trying to make a buck and getting robbed or getting tickets. You know the crazy part is that we sell not every time, but the majority of the food we sell on the streets are healthy. It's fruits. It's fruits. That's
exactly.
That's
Mangoneadas, caña, mangoes, sandia,
coconut.
That's all we know.
Pepinos.
That's why my grandparents lived to be 95, and
that's the one they want to get rid of. They want to get rid of the people that are selling healthy food. That's crazy. But aside from that, going back to Texas, and this is the thing, I have a beef with Not a B, but that's one thing I don't like when Texas people say, remember the Alamo, hey, the Star, the what's they called, the Star something? Because Texas was founded by racism. It was founded by racist people. Eventually, what would be the U.S. Texas, anyways? Because
Wait, slow down now. Okay, hold on for the people.
Yeah.
Because what you're gonna do is now you're gonna have risky business call in here.
I mean, if you
Texas was founded on racism. Wait a second. Let's get the history straight.
U.S. Texas.
Texas was first Mexico. They let U.S. settlers settle in there with some kind of agreement.
No, they let U.S. immigrants.
Right, but
come into Mexico.
The Mexican territory,
to start
which is
business,
Texas.
Start farming there.
What was the whole agreement that they let the Americans in Texas?
The agreement was that they would. It
was a temporary. What was it for?
They would do the same thing that they were doing on the East Coast: create plantations, grow crops, grow tobacco, do what they did there, but no slaves, because Mexico had a law against slavery. Nobody in Mexico could own slaves. So.
Was that the issue that broke the straw?
These U.S. immigrants.
U.S. immigrants.
They
hit that pinchy like.
They didn't want to.
Norbeez said there's U.S. immigrants.
These U.S. immigrants that were allowed to come into the U.S., they didn't want to do the work. So they low-key brought in their slaves. And as soon as the Mexican government went to go check on these people that they gave land to, they told them, like, hey, there's no slaves here. Well, why do you have these people here? You can't have slaves. You got to set them free. And the gringos said, yeah, we need them. You guys want us to work these lands? We got to keep these guys. Okay, well, yeah, you can't. So if you're not setting them free, we're taking back the land. And they're like, well, no, we already did the work. Well, not we. They the slaves did the work. We're not going to give you shit. So the U.S. Mexico did what the Mexico did. They fucking kicked them out of the land and then took the shit back. Took the land back. Tell them, fuck you guys. You know what those gringos did? They went back to the U.S. and cried. They said, hey, the Mexican government, the military, they attacked us. They killed some of our dudes. They're raping they're graping our women. Like, we need help. And back then, the U.S., they're not going to investigate. They saw that people were dying. What did they do? They started the war with Mexico. All because these gringos wanted their slaves.
Okay, there's some extra details there that a lot of the people don't know because, well, we don't know all the behind the scenes on what's going on. Yeah. But I do remember, from what I'm understanding, is there's a territory of Mexico which was covered Texas. They let the settlers come in, and what happens when the settlers all of a sudden start running up numbers? They get a little emboldened.
Yeah,
they start saying, you know what? Let's do this shit, and then all of a sudden, well, the Louisiana Purchase had just happened, and all of a sudden they want to change the territories of the United States to the Rio Grande, which was literally taking about 30% away of Mexico. And my understanding is that the best generals in that fucking war, which was like a 2-year war, the Mexico, a lot of people didn't even know. There was a Mexican and American war for that property. It's like, you might not hear it in the history books, but this is what happened. Yeah. And what happened? The U.S. expanded their territories because Mexico was already involved in war. It was coming out of how many wars, how much just pillaging. The Indians were caught in the middle of a lot.
They were.
Like the Apaches. Did you hear me do the story, the short on Geronimo?
No, please.
The story of Geronimo. The story of Geronimo, he was an Apache native.
Yeah.
Okay? And again, they're like in the northern part of Mexico, which would be considered northern Mexico and the Arizona region.
Yeah.
Like that pinchy lower third of U.S. now territory and northern Mexico. And he had the Mexican government formed and was at war with them.
Yeah.
Well, and then the American government formed. I'm sorry. And he was at war with them. And I know you have something to say about the Mexican government. You wish there wasn't a Mexican government. Hold on, cabron. He's going to war with both of them. Well, one one day when Jeronimo
Yeah.
was out on a tour, or
Yeah.
just handling business
Yeah.
at war.
Yeah.
They left the families,
Yeah.
the wives, and
Yeah.
everyone back at the village.
Yeah.
They came into the village.
Yeah.
And they pillaged. And who I mean they? I mean Mexicans.
Mexico. The Mexican military.
Mexicans. The Mexican military came into the city and they killed Jeronimo's wife and they killed his children.
Yep.
And ever since that day, Jeronimo pledged, even on his deathbed, he said this on his deathbed.
Yeah.
On his deathbed, Jeronimo said this. He said, if I had the strength
Yeah.
of a young man once
Yeah.
again,
Yeah.
I would go back
Yeah.
and I would go to war and I would kill as many Mexicans unalive. Let me take that back.
Yeah.
It's probably too late, pinche
Yeah.
YouTube. I said it. I
Yeah.
said it. But Jeronimo said it.
Yeah.
I would unalive as many Mexicans as possible. That's some crazy shit.
And I mean, and I'd give it to him. I'd give it to him because to go back to your village and find your family slaughtered. I mean, who wouldn't want to do that? Who wouldn't want to do
Chingado, man. That's crazy. Hey,
But-
we're going to take a 10-minute break. We're going to take the intermission.
that? Yeah.
Are you good?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah. There's a lot more to talk about.
You know what?
I still got to give my Mexican part here.
Okay, let's get the Mexican part back. But again, we're gonna come back and let's take a 10-minute break. We're gonna talk about the YouTube yarda. I want to ask you what you think about hood stocks crashing.
Yeah.
I want to ask you what you think about droops
Yeah.
leaving
Yeah.
hood stocks. And we're gonna talk a little bit more cheeseman. So the second half, we're gonna be a little bit more cheeseman. You guys, we'll be back right now. We're gonna go ahead and take that break. But you do me the favor though, just keep hitting that like. We're live on Chicano Street with Norbeez is in the casa, you
Hey,
guys.
that's right.
We'll be back in about 10 minutes, you guys. I'll leave you guys at the intermission, all right? We'll be back.
10 minutes. Talk amongst yourself.
Live on Chicano 2. Live on Chicano Street. We're back.
Hey.
This is the comeback.
Yes.
Round 2.
Yes, sir.
We're in the building. Beanie's in the building.
Yes.
Gabriel I. That's right. That's one of my
Yes.
day oneers. He's
Yes.
dropping scripture on him. Damn, he's dropping scripture on him. Maccabees, he said. That's one of those books not included in the
Let's
Gospels.
read it. Obadiah 1:7. All the men of thy confederacy have brought thee even to the border. The men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee. Oh, okay.
Well, okay, that's Old Testament then. That's not new. Because that's not one of the new Gospels, right?
You got me on that one, man.
What do you think about people that say, you know what? It's written. I don't know what to believe. Religion is made to control people. Or our ancestors, you know what? Our ancestors?
Yeah. Well,
They didn't believe that Christian Bible that came across from Europe.
Yeah.
Some people do say that.
Well, I mean, religion became something to control people. It wasn't originally, as far as I can tell, origin to control. It became something. Shout out to Nino America. We need to do something soon also, man. Yeah, shout out to everybody in the live chat. I'm watching it. Ching 943.
Nino America's in the casa. ¿Qué huele contigo, güey?
Alex
How you been, cabrón?
Rodriguez. No, not yet.
We're doing a damn thing. He's been one of the most vocal dudes coming up
Nino
on
America?
November. Of course, he's planting his flag. You can tell from the avatars and everything, you know, who we're voting for. I don't want to just say him, who we're voting for, because we're voting with our wallets. Shout out Nino America. At least, you know what? I appreciate cabrones con huevos. At least they speak their heart.
He does. He definitely does. And
they wear it like
yeah.
this on the chest.
Definitely. And going back, you know, and again, let me bring out Marvelous again, because Marvelous, and this is the one thing I like, that when it comes to that Bible, to the book, he completely takes it away from that side of the world and connects it to here, as far as he can see, as far as he knows. That book originated from here, not from there. And I'm not going to lie, I can see it. I can see where he's coming from, as far as him describing how things happen in that book and how it really happened on this side of the world. I mean, when they describe the land in that book, you don't see any of those places on that side of the world, but you do see it here.
That's true, cabrón. I mean, and we have convictions, right? And of course, us Chicanos, right? Live on Chicano Tube, live on Chicano Street. We got Norbeez is in the casa right here. Ya se armó pesado la chingadera. We're about 1, 2, 3, 4 blue moons in.
Now, is that phone number up so they can call?
You know what? 831-204-6977. It is.
Okay.
If you want, we could just turn on. Ahí tengo el iPad.
No,
I should have already put it on deck, but I got it up on the screen.
We're good.
Up on the screen. The gente just want to hear us cotorreo a little bit more, but we're going to talk about right now, which is the YouTube yarda. Let me ask you this. Do you even know what the YouTube yarda is?
Yes, as far as I know, it was founded by that Triple OG.
Okay.
Let's see.
Okay, Norbeez spitting some facts about
second
it.
founder, HBK. I mean, you can't be in this YouTube universe and not know these things, you know?
But it's more of a California thing, way.
Yeah.
No, there's other states that kind of,
Well, what I mean, I mean people that
tap into us.
I'm saying people
It's
that
a California
speak about it.
thing, though.
I'm speaking more of people that speak on it and don't know about it. Like, if you're speaking on YouTube Yarda stuff and don't know who the originators are, I mean, why are you even talking about it? And that's as far as I know. These guys are some of the founding members of what is known as the YouTube Yarda. And then, unfortunately, Southern California have a lot of people that are not original, cannot come up with their own shit, so they gotta copy other people's shit. And it's sad because they just make themselves look stupid by using a reference that they didn't come up with.
No, I thought you were going to say something else, because only grown men from Southern California and from Northern California are going to do business together because it's going to help their people.
Yes, definitely.
Only grown men.
Grown men.
Yeah, only grown men. So we're going to talk about, there's no lines, there's no nothing.
Yeah.
We're helping the people. Of course, there's the bag involved, and we're helping the people.
Definitely.
That means we're reinvesting back into the communities.
Definitely.
And like I do, financial consultant, help people, double, triple revenue, passive income, all that other stuff.
That's right.
But that's what we're trying to do here.
Yeah.
Ultimately, at the end of the day.
But you still got to give credit where credit is due.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
Live on Chicano Tube, live on Chicano Street. Let's go ahead and talk about the YouTube yarda.
So that's my knowledge of it so far.
Now, CJ, I want to give a shout out to CJ. People know who CJ is, cabron. Okay,
elaborate on the
CJ.
When you say
I use abbreviations.
When you say CJ, I think of a big-breasted blonde lady
Cholo Juan.
from Baywatch.
Then
Now
it's different.
Now you destroyed my image of CJ.
Okay, shout out to him and stuff like that. He did a video. He said top 3 on the YouTube yarda. This is what he said. The YouTube yarda. He said Lucky gets a spot. Do you remember what happened? What Lucky did the other day after 2 hours and 45 minutes?
Before we get to there, what entails a YouTube yarda? What entails that? Because we need
Very
to
good
clarify that.
question. Yeah.
Because you can't just be some guy and just say you're part of it.
I know. The number one connector, and this is not that it's good, this is not that it's bad, it just is what it is.
Yeah.
Is that at some point or another, there was a term or a stay or an extended stay in the Department of Corrections. So that's the number one thing in California.
Yeah.
In California. That's the number one thing, because then you kind of understand the lingo and everything else, right?
Okay.
Okay, that's the number one. And 2, it's, being in California, but having a certain look, a certain lingo, etc.
Right. Yeah.
I guess when I put my 2 cents into it and said, you know what, Chicanos on the YouTube yarda are Mexicanos. I mean, it was like, matter of fact, administration even classified it that way.
Really?
They said Northern and Southern, and they only said Mexicans.
Yeah.
For a lot of years. You know what? Not even years. It was decades. But again, that's just, it is what it is. So someone commented the last time and said, what do you think about Lefty Gunplay? That he's Chicano or he's not Chicano?
I mean, I would say no. And I would definitely say, why would it even matter? I mean, it's not like because like I said, Chicano has a meaning. It has meaning. It has worth. It has value. And somebody of his caliber would not contribute to that value, because it earned its name. Chicano means something. It deserves respect when you say that word. Can anybody out there tell me if they connect that name to him, it grows or it devalues? I'm going to say it devalues. And that's not just hating.
It's just
because,
Chicano Street.
That name is very important.
Like.
That being called a Chicano or being connected to that word means a lot. It means that you didn't do shit for yourself. You did shit for the community. You did shit for your people. You weren't there just to get for yourself. You did it for everyone. That's what that means.
And the people were Mexicanos.
And these people are doing it for themselves, for their friends.
And the people were Mexicanos.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, grandma, mom's, 3rd generation. I got 5 on top of pops. Yeah. They both go to the same. And, of course, you see me, Cara Güera. I've had Wayward Son on the channel. Yeah. I've had Blue Deer David Vargas from San Jose, Tizcatlipoca.
Yes.
They were in one of the boxing events, the Aztec dancers. Off the hook. And since the 80s, he's been teaching dancing and Nahuatl.
That's beautiful,
in
man.
the community.
That's beautiful, because we really do need to keep the language alive, the culture alive, the traditions alive. We need to keep all that stuff alive. And this is why I tell people, talk to your elders, ask them about the past, learn something about your roots, because we're only as strong as our roots. And if we have short roots, we're going to fall. We're going to fall. We won't be able to stand strong. Learn your roots so they can keep growing, and then pass that on to the next generation.
That's right. Pichi Norbeez, I want to ask you about this. So we're talking about the YouTube yarda. You said explain. He actually said explain. He said explain the YouTube yarda. Well, California, had to at one time had a low moment in his life. Let's just leave it at that. And so, but on top of that, there's also people that you can't deny, like CJ did in his video.
Yeah.
You know what he was basing his names on the YouTube yarda about? He was basing them on numbers. So if numbers, so he was saying numbers, and I was like, I kind of disagree a little bit.
Numbers can definitely lie. Numbers can definitely be manipulated. Numbers can definitely be bought.
I mean, we know people that have bought 50,000 subs overnight.
Oh, yeah.
They went from 70,000 to 110.
Oh, yeah.
And never got the plaque. It just is what it is. I don't know what else you want to call it, man. Again,
we got some pages that did tremendous in one podcast, and then afterwards, 2-digit numbers. How does that happen?
Oh man. But anyways, I wanted to keep it pushing it. So Lucky came out a couple weeks ago.
Yes.
A couple drinks of Truth Serum.
Yeah.
Whichever one it was. We got Black Saddle over here, and we got Puerto Vallarta. Yeah. And I want to give a shout out to my compa Ray for the Don Julio. This one right here.
Look at that.
My.
Wow.
The Don Julio is not even open yet, but we can baptize it for the people.
That's right.
I appreciate him. The Hood Stocks video that he came out with, he called out about 8 names straight. That was since our last visit here. Of course, I was going to ask Norbeez about this. Yeah. I'm going to give him 30, 45 seconds to get his answer ready.
All right.
Because he said about 7, 8 names straight in different kind of, in different scenarios.
Yeah.
You know, some he mentioned, some he shot shots at, which was very obvious. Some he just mentioned in passing.
Yeah.
Some got strays, etc. But people say, once you get the Truth Serum inside of you, the truth and the whole truth, so help you God, that's all that comes out.
Yeah.
And so you want to get it off your chest. The first one he talked about was, he said, the banda world, or they say el cuerpo de almohada.
Yeah.
What do you think about it?
Oh, he's 100% right.
To that point.
Yeah.
And then maybe we'll go name by name.
Yeah.
Because then he wants to come out with a podcast, The Crash Out Kings.
Yeah.
Maybe he just wants to come on people and just have them come on the internet and speak their shit.
Yeah.
Because why not? It's for entertainment at the end of the day. Maybe that's what it is.
Yeah.
Cheese Tube obviously gets the most pinche views or not. Yeah. What do you think about that?
Well, I mean, Lucky, he's not a newcomer. He's not new to this rodeo. He knows exactly how YouTube works. He knows exactly how our people work. He knows exactly what gets numbers.
Call from
Joe. Doing that did exactly what he wanted it to do. Got him
send
numbers.
a voicemail, press 2.
And of course, he came out with a community post saying that, hey, I'm just playing around. I didn't mean it. You know, this is just who I am. Don't take me serious. And this is classic Lucky. He'll say some shit and just say, oh, I didn't really mean it, or I was just playing around. His get out of jail card. I mean, was he right about certain individuals? Yeah, he was right about certain
Well, then let's just
individuals.
talk about it one at a time, because
Yeah.
the first one was the Banda World,
Yes.
the King of Calexico, but then moved. I guess it sounds like he went to San Bernardino.
Yeah.
And I don't think he wants to go to where Lucky is, because he didn't say shit. There was no response from him, because that was a direct shot. He doesn't want Lucky problems, so he won't go down to that.
Well, I think another situation
He'll
occurred.
just drive, the whole stroll.
I think another situation
doing
occurred,
a vlog.
right? Some other situation occurred, right? As far as that.
My bad. I got calls that keep dropping. I don't know why they're dropping.
I would put your thing on airplane mode.
All the way airplane.
Yeah, all the way airplane.
I won't miss him now.
Yeah,
I won't miss him now. Dispensa gente. So,
but yeah,
the first one he said was the Banda World.
Yes.
Then he started talking about Alvin.
Oh, Alvin. Yeah. And, that's the thing that confuses me. But I get it. He doesn't care about podcasters. He only sees the ones that bring him up. And Alvin knows not to bring him up, because Alvin knows he doesn't want any of that.
So you're saying they're in bed with each other?
I'm not saying he's in bed. He just knows who to talk about and who not to talk about.
Keep that a buck.
You never know. I have heard the phrase "shower shark" on that show once or twice. So I don't know exactly what that means, but
now you home with us and defend the barrio. Patos locos forever.
Forever. I think he'll probably, like I said though, he did that intentionally. He put out whatever he thinks he knows, and then the next day he pretty much gave a
Hater rankers in the casa.
a soft apology.
This is because a lot of people didn't know the origins and all this shit. It was about 3 years ago.
Yes.
Right. I did a video. Well, actually 3 years ago, I ended up ring announcing a charity fight.
Yeah.
So I drove down to Southern California, announced the charity fight, whatever. And Alvin, he got invited.
Yeah.
But I guess, he was like, no, I'm not going to go, whatever. I don't know what.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, my name got mentioned. And I was like, wait a second, let me try to look at this cat. And once I saw this cat, I was like, oh, this, what this cat wants to do, first off, I'm already doing.
Yeah.
Like, already off of YouTube.
Yeah.
Like, I'm already doing that.
Yeah.
Like, that's already in the past.
Yeah.
But then if I were to think, well, this is the kind of dude that I would bring in front of the youngsters that I go all the time and talking to them, they're not dumb. They're gonna automatically read the dude and be like, this dude still is trying to be in the game and act the tough guy. And so that was the energy.
Yeah, you don't want to bring a hypocrite when you're trying to push a positive movement. You don't want a hypocrite because it's gonna make you look bad, and it could put other youth at risk listening to somebody like that.
Call from.
That's right. We got a call.
Joe.
Is it going through?
To accept,
He
press
said,
1.
is it going through? Live on Chicano Street. Joe, what you got to say? Can you hear me, Joe? You're live on Chicano Street.
Hello.
Go ahead. Can you hear me, Joe?
Jello.
Yeah, hear me, Joe. Can you hear me, Joe?
Mikey, can you hear me?
Joe, can you hear him?
Joe, let me know if you can hear me, my man.
Hello.
Can you hear me? Joe.
No. We lost him.
Yeah, lost
Do
in
you
the
have your
sauce.
thing on airplane mode?
Damn, no, I just took it off because I answered it
Oh,
when
you
it
gotta
was
keep
on.
it.
It was already on.
You gotta keep it in airplane mode. Just keep it completely and then
All right, let's check out
take the call.
So, again, he went from him to Alvin.
Yes.
And then from there, he started naming some people that we already know. Tony, and he
Yeah.
started naming Marvelous.
Felt a little
one at a
butthurt
time.
over that. I'm not gonna lie, he felt a little butthurt. I think he
It
sounded
stung?
like
Something stung?
yeah, he felt like a little hurt by that. Something about Tony you go make a bed with Marvelous. I'm like, who says something like
Okay,
that?
to me, that was a stray. That's a stray because, again, it wasn't Tony who went on the channel 2 times.
Well, yeah. Well, you know
and
what?
then the videos came out after of like, I mean, what would you do? I did this, I did that, I saw this, I saw that. Everyone's speaking their facts.
And
then you
and
had
that's the thing.
motherfuckers trying to pick sides.
And that's
shit.
the thing, though. A lot of people don't give credit to Tony because Tony went on Hoostocks way back when Lucky had about maybe 6,000 subscribers at the time.
Back when everyone was showing love.
Yeah, and then Tony went
Without
on
hesitating,
and Tony
showing
went on his
love.
show, and then he Lucky asked his audience, "Hey, look, I got Tony A. Let me get some of your subscribers, Tony A." And that's pretty much what happened. He got subscribers from Tony. Tony invited him to his platform also. Yet again, asked for subscribers. He got them. So this is how Tony works. And this is the thing. He goes to these people's platforms, shows them love, gives them views, and then they talk shit about him. I mean, fuck. Like, you try to do good in life, and then for some reason, people suddenly decide they want to talk shit about you. When you have done
What's new
nothing
about
but
that?
support. When all you've done is support. So
But
shout out
what's
Tony
new about
A
that?
for
No.
support.
Hold on. What's new about that? Because the Raza were worse at it with each other. And let's just keep that a buck. And Raza, yes, and this in general could be any kind of Raza, however you want to define it. But usually when I say Raza, I mean Mexicans. But in this, in terms in general, is like we'd rather not lend the hand to someone else to level up. We have to learn it on our own, hustle, want it, and go and get it. Or else it's not going to fucking be given to you.
Yeah.
But that's good because we come from a raza that if you didn't get up at 5 a.m. to go get on the bus and work for some frijoles, you weren't going to eat. And if you didn't eat, your family wasn't going to eat.
Well, let me ask you this. As far as raza, is Lucky raza? I mean, I think that was one of the things that was brought up. Because I think his dad is a Jewish Russian. And And I say Jewish Russian because that's what he says.
No,
Jewish
that's what
Russian.
he says. That's what he
And
says.
his mom,
I see what you're saying.
His mom, I don't even know where his mom's from. What, Central America?
She could be Mexican.
Mexican.
She could be
Somewhere-
Mexican like
I
Miklo's
don't
mom.
know. But
And the
then
dad
so-
is either Gavacho, Russian, or Jew,
And
etc.
according to some people, you are your father's seed. I mean, if his father was Russian Jew, that means he's a Russian Jew.
You see how some people try to just put that in different levels now.
Yeah,
It's
so
gonna
it's
want to
like-
make you think. At least we want you to think here. But I've had people tell me both sides of the story. The father,
Okay, well, would you call him Chicano?
I wouldn't.
Yeah, I wouldn't either.
I wouldn't, because once you even go halfway off the path, how do I know that halfway off the path of your bloodline doesn't go into 6, 8
Yeah.
different pathways?
Well, I wouldn't call him Chicano because, again, what that word means to me. And I've heard Lucky say, I don't do shit for the community. I do shit for me. And when I hear somebody say that, that automatically says you're definitely not a Chicano, because a Chicano means you do things for the community. You
But
don't
remember,
do it for yourself.
If he's never even tried to grab that title, though,
Yeah,
then we can't hold that against him.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people, like say, we talked about Lefty, but maybe Lefty's
But I'm
never
sa-
tried to grab
but I-
that
but I'm
title
saying that's why I
because he
wouldn't
never
put him
came
there.
through Chicano Street and tapped in with Mikey and
There
with
you go.
Norbeez here.
There you go.
With
But that's
Tony
why I'm
A,
saying that.
Marvelous, everyone that's Chicano Street certified. And then he'd know what's up. And
Yeah,
then you
pretty
guys would know
much.
what's up. We wouldn't have to fucking sugarcoat shit and would tell you that dude has a blue check mark. Don't worry about it.
Exactly. So I mean that's what. But I'm saying I would disqualify him just because he said that phrase. That's the only reason why. Even if he was, I would disqualify him just because he said a phrase like that, saying I don't do shit for the community. I do shit for myself. Okay, even if you were a Chicano, I would disqualify you.
This is something
You're not
that
a Chicano anymore.
Icon started. No, I'm just kidding. But Icon, he leaned over. No, he did. Respectfully, he leaned over and he said, "Oh, you're saying raza is everyone, all encompassing," which we know what it is, all encompassing. Which is, you could say, okay, anyone with a certain skin color, but that's a lot of people. A lot of people are the same skin color but different parts of the world.
But that's what I'm saying. Raza are people that do things. I want to also apply that same like philosophy. You do things for the community. You don't do things for yourself.
You're not saying, okay, are you saying though that in LA they didn't really know too much of Julio Cesar Chavez and the United Farm Workers kind of movement?
We
Because what was that scene more? Because they was born in the Central Valley.
Let's get one thing straight. LA has a love-hate for Cesar Chavez.
The Union.
We love and then we don't like him, mostly because in LA now, back then there was a big division between Mexicanos that were born here and then Mexicanos that were born in Mexico. There was a big divide, and Cesar Chavez was one of the people that kind of added to that division. He would insult immigrants. He would say bad words about them. He would talk bad about immigrants, and I get it. He wanted to help out the union, but he did create a stain on his name as far as LA, because in LA we didn't care if you were an immigrant, if you were a raza and you were there working hard, you belong to the community. We're not trying to. We don't have borders. We don't have nationalities. If you're there working hard, paying taxes, paying your dues, feeding your family, you're part of the community. Chavez fought for the union, and which is a good thing. You need fighters, but as far as his name in LA, I would say there's a lot of people that do respect him. But then I would say
seen
there's
him
a
like
lot of
as
people that
up
don't
north,
no,
Central Valley.
No,
Because
like I said, originally he started in LA with the COS. He started there. He worked in that organization.
but put their headquarters
and
up
then
north.
He left it to go to the union.
And stop already.
No, yeah,
keep
he
it
left it.
real.
No, I
keep
mean,
it
he
real.
left it.
Hey, tell Norbeez to keep it real.
He left the
They went
COS.
up north. And I'll tell you why. You can get mad or whatever. It don't matter. But these are facts. They went up north because the temperatures were more like in the middle-ish ranges, like 70s, 60s. where they brought up all the headquarters of all the fucking plants of like Tanamore and Antle, Foxy, Lettuce, Fresh Express, Dole, Bud.
Yeah. Oh no, I'm talking.
Taylor
I'm
Farms.
talking about it as far as his career. As far as his career.
And they made a headquarters in Salinas, but even the Salinas office knew that it was the Central Valley office.
Yeah, no, I was speaking.
The farm workers.
I was speaking more towards his career. He had a career at the COS in East Los Angeles, and he left it to go and be part of the union. But I'm saying his upbringings were in East LA. He's an East LA kid.
So we seen some things get said that kind of line up with more socialist, communist. People are saying, what if he just had someone in his ear? And of course, people for money, they were just saying this for money purposes, which is, it's going to benefit you. It's going to benefit your family. I know it might not be by the book because it's obviously the opposite of ethical.
Yeah.
But they were saying that he was pretty much a plant and was just a pawn getting moved. And whatever he said, he was going to be told what to say because they had lined his pockets up really good. And then, but now again, there's like a 60% difference in the membership in the UFW.
I mean, I would say he did what he was trained to do in the COS. He did exactly what he's trained. Speak your mind, organize, and help the community. He left the COS to go do that with the unions. And that was the belief of everybody in the COS to do something like that. And what he did is exactly what they wanted him to do. Probably not where they wanted him to do it, but he definitely took that philosophy with him. He organized. The COS was the kings of organizing.
Gente, how could I even debate that? Because come on, L.A. Now, one thing I do want to say is, I don't know if you knew this, cabron, but Salinas, up north, at least as soon as Salinas is actually exactly west of like Fresno.
Okay.
This is what people consider the equator of California.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. But anyone knows from that city or Bakersfield, and you start going up, then they start saying up north.
Yeah.
They started looking at that as the line, right?
Yeah.
It's looked at Salinas as like the LA of Northern California.
Oh yeah, definitely. That's one of the reasons why the COS was I'm pretty sure it's the COS.
We're part of the corrida run, which all of the farm workers pass through.
Yeah.
From here to Yuma, going right down the middle of the state.
Oh yeah. And the reason why Cesar Chavez even started looking here is because of the COS. There was a case here. There's a place called King something.
King City?
King City?
Their city, yep.
It was a farm area, right?
It's
Back
right,
then?
yes, exactly.
Well, there was a case of
fields, nothing but fields.
There was a case of a Chicano there that was accused of unaliving another kid. I don't know if you recall that story. That was way back in the day. Well, the thing was that these Mexicano kids, these Chicano kids, were invited by these kids of farmers that were güeros. They were invited. Hey, come over here. Let's have fun.
These
let's
are
hang
all
out.
little cowboy cities. You know what I mean? Nothing but güeros that are cowboys.
So these Chicanos said, okay, let's go. So they went to their area to go and hang out. What they didn't know is what they were getting set up. That they had chains, they had bats. They were getting ready to put a beat down on these kids.
Gotcha.
The problem was that one of these kids, one of these Chicanos, had a small pocket knife, and to defend himself,
it sounds like the movie The Outsiders.
He stuck it out. He said, but when he stuck it out, it got one of the güero kids in the heart, and it took him out. So the case happened. The community in that area that were Chicanos, they didn't have the money to get a lawyer. So the COS found out about this case and helped organize to collect the money so they can get a lawyer. Once they got the lawyer, they dismissed the case because there was no evidence. There was no proof saying that these güeros didn't attack them.
Now you home with us
that they attacked them. They set these
and defend the barrio. Patos locos forever.
So when that happened, the COS, Cesar Chavez saw what was going up here. And I want to say that kind of inspired him to leave the COS to come here to the north, and make a difference, the way the COS made a difference down south.
Shout out to ALG Entertainment. He actually said, he goes, I have a ring from Cesar Chavez.
Yeah.
And then he knows the family personally.
Yeah.
Shout out to him, cabron. Look, the chat is on fire, cabron. It's going all the way out. Let me ask you this, cabron.
Yeah.
You seen that the same week that Lucky just shot missiles,
Yeah.
it seemed like Droops was a free agent and he landed on another couch.
Yeah.
It looks like there's 2 appearances a week. People are saying maybe 100, maybe another hundo every single week, as part of the agreement, etc. But getting paid, it looks bad. It kind of would get under my skin.
Yeah.
If it was me and my co-host, how does that look? Because when I see Droops over there, I'm like, fucking Droops should just be on a couch by himself. Might as well. If you're just gonna overshadow people and etc. That doesn't bug you when you spend the night at my house and I spend the night at your house. My mom calls you como hijo and vice versa.
Yeah.
And then you bounce?
Damn. I want to say...
Think about it like that before
I want to say I feel bad for Droops because he doesn't... And I don't know Droops personally, but just like Cholo Juan... People see them as the flavor of the month, and these are platforms that want these numbers. They're using them. They're using them because they know it'll bring them numbers. They don't care who the fuck he is. They don't care if they gotta feed their kids, they gotta feed their mom, they gotta feed their dad. They don't give a fuck about these guys. But they will use them to get views, to get numbers. And this is the unfortunate part, that these guys will eventually see that these guys don't give a fuck about them. They're just using them to get numbers. And that's the sad reality that these guys don't understand. Because, like, for instance, JC, he just came out of, from what I know, he just came out of jail. And he's just jumping back into it. He's getting all these invites. And all of these podcasters that are begging him to come in, you know, they just have a hard on because they know what kind of views they're going to get with them. They're using them.
Oh, you mean with CJ?
Yes.
Like CJ. Well, just to keep it a buck, Lucky from Hoodstocks called him a fat Mexican. Que gacho, man.
Really?
Que gacho, man.
That's after he's
But he's keeping it a buck. Keeping it a buck. I mean, if he's not, so CJ did a video. This is how I know CJ taps in, because he did a video. And he was talking about the YouTube yarda. He said Lucky. He said Alvin, and I said no, he's disqualified. He said Negra. I said, oh, Negra, yes.
Yeah.
But that's the YouTube yarda. People tap in from other states, and they don't even know shit about the YouTube yarda. And Triple OG, who I know off this internet shit, was the first one that created it, and the only cabrones he would ever go in on.
Yeah.
The only are the ones that were misleading, saying one thing and doing the other, and people didn't like that.
Yeah.
They didn't like that. So what could you say about that? I mean,
Well,
you can't really say about that. He's calling it what it is. Spade is a spade.
I can definitely understand his point of view and his movement, because that's pretty much what I was pushing also. And I get it. I totally get it. And you know what? Speaking of him, shout out to that guy, Chemo, because for some reason he seems to have a bone out for me. I don't know why, but...
There's videos on the internet.
He seems to really dislike the fact that
you're
I went
a
to
public figure.
He seems that,
and
he seems to have a...
You're a public figure, so
seems
you're
to
going to have
a
video.
bone me going to the Chipmunks place. I don't know
what
why.
is it in regarding?
He seems like he's
is
upset
it in regarding
that I
the
did
fade?
that.
It's in regarding the fade?
It seems like he's upset that I went to go visit the Chipmunks. I almost for a second thought that Chemo guy is the Chipmunk, because he seems to take offense to me visiting the Chipmunk. I was like, why is he mad? Well, I don't know. I could be wrong. Chemo, make another video and explain to me if you are
Crashing
mad
out with
or not
Norbeez.
mad with me.
Live from the 831. Norbeez is in the casa having a good time. That brisket.
But I appreciate it. It's funny.
Oh yeah, it's good
that
shit.
Brisket was
That brisket.
good.
Tell him Norbeez walked into some Kansas City.
Shout out to Miss Chicano Tube.
Miss Chicano Tube. Norbeez walked into some Kansas City barbecue. Here he is right here, just eating the Kansas City barbecue. with Miss Chicano too. So
Oh,
shout out
my
to the
God, that's
executive
incredible.
producer, the smoking, beautiful smoking, sexy hot wife.
Hey.
Let's go ahead and go back into the chat as we go back into this. Droops leaving hood stocks.
Yeah.
It bothers me because I would be like, you're my close homie for 30 years.
Yeah.
But I understand someone gave you $100 more bucks or 150 or two. I don't know.
Yeah.
Whatever the deal was.
Yeah, make your bag. But
Then make it is cool.
But I feel
Every year switch up, different camps.
but this is why I said, like, you know,
Because people are
it's
talking shit and taking.
I seen these kinds of actions happen. Adam 16 does it also. He'll get the flavor of the month, hire them, use them, milk them for everything they got, then hope they go to jail.
Compa Raider. He's one of the latest fucking toys.
He's the latest one. He's the latest.
He said, I'm pulling up looking for the fade.
But this is why-
Did people really think he was pulling up looking for the fade?
From what I hear, he's a rich kid. From what people are telling me, he's rich. Like, he's middle class.
But what I'm saying is that do you think people actually expected him to look for the fade and pull up?
I'm more worried about his lawyer. And that, not to take away. I mean, middle class people, they could be tough.
No. You know what? I'd say this. At least he was able to talk some shit back and be like, you know what, Lucky, fuck it, let's run the fade, even though he knows for sure that name wouldn't be signed on any contract.
Nah.
That name is not getting signed on a contract.
Nah.
Because we could do it. I got, a matter of fact, shout out Icon. I was just talking to him the other day. We got gyms all the way from San Diego up to Crescent City.
That's right.
That's all California. And we're starting to go and plan shows in 2025 in Arizona and take over. Well, I don't want to say take over, but go and do business inside the Raza states, kind of like the Lowrider Tour.
I mean,
you know what I mean? Where the Raza is, that's where we're going.
That's going to be the Southern Belt, as they say.
The Southern Belt.
Consisting of California, Nevada, Arizona, Utah, Texas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Florida.
Yeah, Colorado is
The
tapped
Southern
in. Utah's tapped in. The Midwest is also tapped in. The Southwest is almost automatically a given.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so, again, I only want to do business with businessmen.
Yeah.
Now, that's it. It got to be A to B business. It ain't going to be none of this street shit, etc. Because then when they bring the street into it, then I can't do business with it.
Oh, yeah. It's tough.
The street element fucks the whole thing up because I
that-
wouldn't even bring the streets around my family, let alone my business. So if you're going to bring the street element, don't even contact me.
Yeah, that's very true. That is very true. And it is crazy. You know, it's funny that you would bring up Icon because I remember he got in a little situation with his limitation as far as knowledge on certain other groups. And I want to make one thing clear.
Juneteenth.
Yes, Juneteenth.
Juneteenth.
And this is why I told you like earlier, like, you know, Chicano is getting dragged through the mud. You know, Raza is being dragged through the mud because all these other podcasters are using the word just to use it. They don't have any respect for it. They don't acknowledge it for what it is. They use it because it'll help them. Like we're not an accessory that you could add on to make your words, you know, mean something. You can't just say, "Oh, why isn't Raza there? Why isn't Raza this? Or Raza isn't being shown respect." Like, why are you concerned with that? How much are you showing for it? How much respect are you showing for it? You're only calling for it to benefit you. If the Raza is not asking for it, why are you asking it for us? When we want something to be done, we make it be done. Like Prop 187. You remember that time? Prop 187? I think it was Prop 187. That's the one where they were trying to, what were they trying to do? They were trying to make a law in California to go after Raza. And when that happened, we fucking flooded the streets. We protested. We demanded. That's what Raza does.
That's right.
When Raza needs to be somewhere, they're going to show up. We don't need people that are using us as an accessory to give their words meaning. We don't need that.
I'm the leader of the raza.
That's what I'm saying.
Listen to me on YouTube
That's what I'm
Landia.
saying. Especially Chicano. Chicano is being dragged through the mud. I mean, look. You got all these people using the word Chicano without knowing the history, without knowing the meaning. They just use it because it benefits them.
Johnson Field says, Mikey, you got it wrong. Okay, let's talk about it.
As far as
He
what?
says, I got it wrong. I don't think Droops left for the money. Well, all I know is the timeline. The timeline shows that same week, a lot of truth serum got drank. And someone's feelings came out, which is Hood Stocks, which is nothing new. I think that's why he's almost at 200K subscribers.
Yeah.
Because it's not really like an interview type of podcast
Yeah.
or get to the point of some kind of, subject line. He's just going to be like, come in here, and if we vibe, we vibe, and we're going to take some shots, and either we're going to fucking make an epic podcast.
Pretty much.
Or we're going to crash.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's where all that came from. And I'm just saying, if you slept on my couch for 30 years, my mom called you hijo, mijo.
A lot of history.
Vice versa. It would kind of rub me the wrong way, but I'm not saying I can't move on from it. Even Lucky said it's a business decision. But when Marvelous went on there 2 times, they fell out.
Yeah.
Absolutely fell out. And then after that, there was a lot of videos made saying it was because of the conduct.
Yeah.
They wanted you to pick a camp, but I was looking at it.
Yeah.
You had asked me earlier, well, what's a Chicano? Well, you got to have all the blood go to Mexico.
Yeah.
If you don't have the blood go to Mexico, then it's not you.
Yeah. I mean, that's the way that's one way of looking at it. Definitely.
And I don't know a lot of people. I know most of the people I only know on the internet because this is Internetlandia.
The only thing I want to say is that I hope these individuals are not being used and exploited, squeezed for everything they got, and they get tossed aside. That's the only thing I hope that is not happening to them. Because if that happens, it's unfortunate because that's the true meaning of exploiting somebody, using them. And that's something we don't do. We don't use people to benefit ourselves. And if that happens to them, it's unfortunate. But
O sea, what's going to happen amongst the raza if someone gets caught being a swindler, a thief, and a hustler, and he's just stealing off the people instead of trying to earn an honest living? What's going to happen? The raza's going to beat that ass, cabrón.
Yeah, man.
I mean, that's almost like 100 that the raza's going to beat that ass.
Definitely.
But we're not a lazy raza. We get up and we get to work.
We get to work. Even when we're sick, we get to work. Even when we lose an arm, we get to work.
Let me
Even
ask
when we
you
lose
about
the
this.
legs, we get to work.
Something else that went viral after you left last time, Chicano Street, was Lefty, the rapper from SoCal.
Yeah.
Gunplay.
Yeah.
He did an interview and he said, hell no, I'm not going to let my daughter date a black or African gentleman. What did you think about that?
I mean, at first it was shocking. I mean, as far as I know, there are some neighborhoods that believe in that. Looking at his background, him being half white, I mean,
Dad from like Mississippi or Missouri.
I mean, and it's pretty heavy right there. Those whites do not mess with
They're
any
redwood
color.
whites.
Yeah.
They're
exactly.
born in the mountains.
Yeah, they don't mess with
redneck,
colors.
redwood, gabachos.
And if he grew up in that type of environment, then I could see why he would say something like that. But for the most part, like me, I grew up in Hollywood. East Hollywood. Not Hollywood. I grew up in East Hollywood. It was everything there. It was black. It was Armenians. It was Koreans. It was Japanese. It was Egyptian. It was everything. It was a melting pot of everything there.
Everything.
So I never saw that. I never saw the color difference. All I could see are bullies and assholes, and that's it. But as far as like, oh, I don't like them because they're a certain ethnicity or that never happened.
It wasn't a factor.
It wasn't a factor. Even the gays were around that time. But they're
Wasn't
not
a factor
They
at
wasn't
all.
the same gays as they were of now. But even back then,
I could say the same
we
thing.
We never really said, oh, that they're fucking weird. But on the east side, I have noticed that later on in life, as I grew up as an adult, they actually do find that they don't really like those people. And I didn't know that. I thought, because I grew up there, I thought everybody thought the same way I did. Like they understand and they can look past it.
That's right. Beanie's in the casa. That's right. Let's get back to the subject at hand, though. The YouTube yarda is characters that are on. First off, they're Chicanos.
You know what? Let's go, but I gotta go to the restroom. So I'll be back.
So Norbeez is
We'll
gonna go there straight ahead.
All right.
You already know what it is. And so look at the last live that I did. Hit that pinchy like. Live on Chicano Tube. Live on Chicano Street. I appreciate you guys that are tapping in right now. I'm going to go through the comment section right now. Live with Norbeez. If I get 10 more ones, that'll be the third tequila shot. So 10 ones. And let's get to the third tequila shot so we can speak some more truth. How about that? Beanie says, la yardita. Yeah, that's what's up. That's what's up. That's the video that I dropped about 2 or 3 days ago. And that was the origins from the beginning. Again, it's all, like CJ said, fantasy football. At the end of the day, that's all it is. Fantasy football at the end of the day. But again, we jump on here and we're in California. Y somos Chicanos. And it's just something that in the cultura happens to be. Gabriel Eyes in the casa. ¿Qué huele contigo, güey?
Thinking of letting him in, ese.
Told you he's my best crime partner.
He ain't Mexican, ese.
Kill you! Fuck these other vatos, ese! Get up, Chucky! Get up! You fuck with my familia, eh? You gotta answer to me here and now. Come on, toe to toe.
Woo, that's right. Hit that pinchy like live on Chicano Street.
You know, that's so funny because when you play that, it reminds me of my neighborhood that I live at now, because those places where they shot that movie are literally like a mile south of me.
All-time favorite Chicano movies?
1,000,000 to 1.
Top 5.
Top 5, okay. Number 1 would be 1,000,000 to 1. I don't know if you ever saw that movie. It's starring Paul Rodriguez. That's number 1. Second one would be Up in Smoke with a Chich Marin. Let's see.
Oh, man, that's a good one right there.
Next
man.
one that are Chicanos, right? Okay.
Let's play a Chich Marin
This
one.
is space coke. You never tasted this before, man. Hey, try this, man. Try it to blow your head off.
Oh my God, that Up in Smoke movie, man, that thing is hilarious. When he passes him that big freaking blunt and he hits it, and then he starts getting
The judge had vodka. Anyway, let's go back to the YouTube yarda, cabron.
Yeah.
We're going back to the YouTube yarda. We're talking about Droops. Refill? It's refill time.
I'll get some water. And a beer. But, yeah, well, as far as Droops, again, man, I hope they're not being used. I hope they're not being exploited, because I notice a lot of these podcasters are trying to replicate the Adam 16 blueprint, where you find the flavor of the month, you hire them, you use them, you squeeze everything you can out of them, and then somehow, some way, they end up in jail.
Okay, but how about this, though? Think about it like this, because some people they ask me, and you might not agree with this, but they ask me, oh, would you go to Adams? I say, look, if I was trying to increase my stock and I was trying to increase my brand, a lot of motherfuckers don't get opportunities to go on a podcast when they're from, they're real motherfuckers. Yeah. So a lot of people wouldn't say no, they would go on the podcast. Yeah. But I know I've heard you say, if you go on the podcast, it's kind of like, he's going to exploit you. He's going to use you. Yeah. But at the same time, it's mutual. Yeah. The benefit, because I'm coming up. Yeah. My stock goes up. And maybe my sales or at least, following.
I'm not saying I wouldn't go on there. I would definitely go on there, but I would do the exact same thing.
Am I wrong by saying that, though?
Yeah.
You haven't said that? Or
what?
Saying, like, one of the camps, there's either we don't want to go. We'll never go on Adams.
No. I'm more like I'll go on there, but I would do exactly what the brothers did this one time, where they pretty much talked about his accusations as far as what he did, and and I would do what they did. I would do exactly the same thing, and then have Adam come back in and then kick me out for exposing them.
You want to give some backstory on that?
Yeah.
I don't know. I've heard Canada. I've heard stories, but I don't even know what's concrete. I mean, you don't know. As a matter of fact, a lot of these pichi cabrones that have money, they got people in powerful places. They can start deleting shit.
Oh, yeah.
And, it's funny. We're watching Prison Break.
Yeah.
Back on Netflix. And me and the wife, we were watching this shit. And
the one with the two guys?
Yeah, with the government.
Brothers?
The government that's trying to, cover up a muerte or something like that. And it's a big old scheme from el gobierno, right?
Yeah.
But they start showing how they can delete you. Like,
oh, yeah.
Totally delete your information like you never existed ever. So guess what? This is the quickest way that people are going to forget about you or anything that you brought up.
Yeah.
It's the quickest, just to delete you and delete your information. When I saw that, I was like, shit, this is that pre-programming that they're basically in our face telling us what they'll do to us. If they ever wanted to do to us, they'll delete our information and you never existed.
They definitely
and guess how fast people will forget about you? That's crazy shit.
People will forget about you. Man, I can't get these guys' names, but they got kicked out because they they asked that big dude with the big, what's his name? That Poetic Flaco guy, like. They asked him, like, hey, how can you work with a guy that has done those things? And he was trying to explain, like, I don't know what you mean. The guy was explaining what the accusations. And then all of a sudden, Adam 16 comes in and says, hey, you guys got to go. You guys can't be talking about that. And the brothers told them, well, I mean, we're just speaking on facts. This isn't things we're making up. We have paperwork. We have articles. We got witnesses that
I mean, public information is public information. So there's so many acts now.
Yeah.
Where you could just look it up.
People
will get a lot of things and post it on the internet, and it's what it is. And that's part of the YouTube yarda too.
Oh yeah.
The YouTube yarda is merciless.
Yeah.
That means if any fucking skeletons or you did shit in your background, the YouTube yarda is gonna
definitely. And you know what? The funny part is that Adam 16 has like a bone. Man, that guy really doesn't like me.
But he mentioned you like 2 or 3 times on the podcast saying that Mexican.
Yeah.
That what?
That podcaster, that Mexican podcaster. And then not only that, but he mentioned me when he interviewed JC. What is it? Yeah.
Call from
CJ.
No, Castro.
When he interviewed CJ, he talked to him about me.
Press 1.
What do you think about that guy? Blah, 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 blah. And CJ went out to, I don't know what, I actually don't know what he said, but.
Big Joe, you're live on Chicano Street.
Hey, Big Joe. Can he hear you? Anything going on?
No, I don't think so. Big Joe, live on Chicano. No.
You got to keep your thing on airplane mode.
Damn.
You can't use that. You got to
Phones are
use
off.
only that.
Live on Chicano Street.
Let's try it again. Let's only pick it up from there. Actually, I want to see if that works again. Let's see how that.
La Bamba movies. He said, remember La Bamba in San Fernando.
La Bamba. Oh my God, La Bamba. That's my. Oh, there we go. That's another Chicano. That's another one. That's another
No,
Chicano
stop. Don't try to add to. I'm going to tell you my top Chicano movies. Don't try to add to them, cabrón. You're switching them up every 5 seconds. You know you are.
I
No?
definitely want to add that.
I gotta wear these all the time.
Yeah, that's fine.
Call from
That's another Chicano. That's another.
Live.
I guess.
Yeah.
Really?
Really?
It's working.
It's crazy. Oh, but I can't hear you.
It's working.
Oh, okay, that's cool. As long as you can hear them. I don't know if I can hear you.
It's just, you already
there
know
you go.
what it
I'm
is.
glad
The
you-
majority of the
I'm-
raza has
I'm glad you said that.
Metro.
La Bamba.
Metro. Most of the raza has Metro, Getro.
That's number 3 right there. La Bamba will be number 3. Actually, you know what? I take that back. Let me put La Bamba to number 1. and then A Million to One, and then the Up in Smoke. And
Okay,
then,
let me give you mine then. I'm gonna have to
That's
give you
my
mine.
top
Salute to
three.
the raza. Number
Salute to the raza.
salute. I'm number 5 in. Norbeez in the casa. Crashing out with Norbeez. That's
Hey.
that episode you wanted to see live on Chicano Street.
Oh my God!
I appreciate you coming through, cabrón. Otra vez más.
Hey,
Explain
when
the camiseta a little bit.
Oh, really?
Native?
Yes. She
100%?
She changed human history. This lady right here changed human history.
Because the native, obviously, está fumando algo. That's like
No,
native.
no. That's not the important part. The important part is the bottom part. The shrooms. The shrooms. That's the important part. And I'll tell you this. She changed world history. And I'll explain to you why. Because when that one guy, that one güero that went to Oaxaca, to her pueblo, to get help with his own problems, and she helped him out by doing the mushroom ceremony for him. He was healed. He was happy. He saw life in a different view.
This is a literal.
This actually happened.
Okay.
When that happened, this man went back to the U.S., wrote a book. That book went crazy in the U.S. It went crazy in Europe.
Stay away.
All of a sudden,
Chingado.
you have people, you had music artists, you have politicians going to Oaxaca to get the same thing done to them. And she did it. She pretty much fed them the shrooms. All these people left Oaxaca with a different perspective of the world, of life.
So I'm assuming what you're saying, the mountain people of Oaxaca
Yes.
easily knew that was a crop of theirs. They knew what it did.
Yes.
And they knew
What
it was worth.
What they used it
and
there.
how they can distribute it.
What they used it there originally was to cure.
And their main consumer, the seller, was gabachos.
Not before. Before it was just a
They used it for ceremonial.
They used it to heal themselves as far as addiction or trauma. This was the purpose, to heal people. And when
Don't
that
start
guy,
saying trauma. Way. You sound like a 2024
well,
Democrat.
that's what it was. Like, let's say,
You sound like a 2024 Democrat. Come on.
well,
now, cabrón.
those mountains can be very
Trauma.
traumatic. I mean, you had
To the mountain people?
Yeah, you had pumas living there. You had a lot of things going on in those mountains.
Pre-gun
that
days,
would,
huh?
Yeah, you
Those
had
are
a lot.
pre-cuete
No, you
days.
had a lot of things happening there that would freak you the fuck out, and you needed something to put perspective back into you. So when all these güeros started going there, their perspective on the world was different. They started writing books. They started doing music, all based on those shrooms that they took and the ceremony and the experience. They started creating from an experience that they went through, through the ceremonies of consuming shrooms. So when I say she changed the world, she really changed the world in a cultural manner, where a lot of things as far as art, music changed. There's even a picture of the Beatles taking a picture with her at her village. The Beatles.
That's what's up. Live on Chicano Street. We got Norbeez in the casa. He's turning up right here, cabrones. Hit that pinche like. I'm putting up a poll right now.
But this is what I'm saying. We changed the world. We helped the world. I mean, a new research came out that chocolate helps produce more stem cells. Dark chocolate helps produce more stem cells. Where have you heard that? You never heard that. Who came up with chocolate?
That's right. Norbeez is in the casa. That's right, you guys. Hit that pinche like. I'm looking at the comment section right now. Chingado. You guys are making me laugh.
And this goes to my argument where we shouldn't be asking for reparations. We shouldn't be demanding for things for ourselves, because the gabachos have built a system that we can use for ourselves, a system that they are very much losing control of. We don't need to hire lawyers or yell that we need reparations. We need to understand and learn their system and use it to benefit us.
I'm just telling you, hit that bitch like Julio Solar says. He says, justice for Norbeez.
Hey.
That's right. Hey. I was trying to put up this pinchy poll.
It's up. It's up already. No.
No.
I just hit that one. It's behind clear. Where it says clear. Yeah, right there. You see it there. Yeah, hit it. There you go. It's up.
No, it doesn't. Wait.
Oh, no. That's just to add an option, huh?
There you go.
Oh, okay. Just scroll down. Let's see. Delete that one. Go down and delete the last one. Yeah, push the X and then scroll down again. Yeah, actually click X on that one too. And then you know what? Go right there and try to like zoom out. Zoom out.
There it is.
Oh, you see it? There you go. There you go. There goes the poll, people.
All right. Back to what we were talking about on the YouTube Yarda. Okay. I saw you do a video and you said there was an individual you talked to. What was his name? What was his name? MC Pancho. And it was something between the banda world and all that.
Yeah, he was a mediator
of something between a conversation, you guys.
Yeah, he was a mediator. He wanted to make sure that the conversation me and the banda world had was just what would be the phrase? Was on a manly level, and there was respect. There was respect. That was the most important part.
And so obviously since then there's been a complete renege. He shot some shots, but kind of backed up. But we can already see with like CJ.
Oh, he can't stop bringing.
He already kind of reneged on that too. So he'll just go to show you whoever he invites over as soon as you leave the couch.
Yeah.
All bets are off.
Oh, definitely 100%.
And he'll go in on you.
Yeah, not like, you know what? And I've held my end as far as having respect in that arrangement, that agreement. I know the banda world has not. He uses those little nicknames for me. He can't stop talking about me. And I get it. I really did damage to his reputation. And I could see why he would be upset. But at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter because for me, I want to say that I'm just past it. He's irrelevant. The way he's going, I don't see anything positive going on over there, even though he's trying to do that. But you know what? They say, I don't know what the saying was. It's already leaving my mind. But I don't care about him anymore. I care more about the community, the people, what message we're putting out. Because at the end of the day, the message that they're putting out doesn't help the community, doesn't help the culture. All it does is just put us more back than we were. Chicanos have fought very hard so that it could be respected in this state, in this country. What they're doing is just putting us back. We shouldn't be putting attention to individuals that only tarnish our names and use us just to benefit them. Because that's not what we're about. We're about everybody.
It's different with the banda world anyways. He's going to put out a pinchy video. This dude stabbed this dude in the face. And it is what it is. I guess it's to each his own on YouTube, how they click and what videos people like and shit like that. And all I said was this guy is un aprovechon in his warehouse on top of that. Yeah. But when you see him, constantly put in the caption one thing, but it never really materializes it. A lot of people will talk about making money, putting these fights together, but you don't even know this much that goes into it.
Yeah.
And I'm not talking about the business side, LLCs and insurances and this and that, and having the whole team that could pull up in any city and do it.
That part.
I'm talking not the manpower part. I'm just talking about you just don't have it in you to put it together.
Oh, yeah. As far as that, no.
Ain't no one ever going to see him ever pull up to any fight, period. Any fight, no matter who it is. Because even with the CJ fight, he said, well, what happened to those T-shirts what if some people did buy some T-shirts, and he's not even telling the people, oh, there was a couple hundred orders, but of course he put it out on the internet. There was 1,000, and we knuckle up.
But you know what?
What if he got 200 at 100 each?
And this is why I got a lot of love for Baldacci, because Baldacci was getting his name smutted up. They were trying to bury him, trying to make LA go against the face of LA. It's not gonna happen. He's the face of LA. I don't give a fuck how many guys you try to rename the face of LA. Baldacci is the face of LA because that is the name he came up for himself. That is his to give, not some other individual's right to give. It's like if somebody says, we're going to name that guy the new Chicano Tube. It's not going to happen.
Hello.
There's only one Chicano Tube. He made it for himself, and that's his. Just like Baldacci. He made himself the face of LA, and that's his. It's his right to give that title to anybody else or that name. It's nobody else's right. It's only his. And he believes in it so much that he went somewhere to go and certify that that's his name, and you can't talk bad about him. That's why I got a lot of respect for Baldacci. Aside from his fucking badass diss track, I think it's called Rap Cattle.
Yeah.
If you haven't seen Rap Cattle, go check it out. It's amazing.
It's a bad one.
Dope. It's strong. I mean, fuck. If you wanted to see LA getting repped as far as rap, Chicanos.
That's the one.
That's the one. Rap Cattle.
Bam. And you know what I always say, Norbeez? The calles know whose are theirs anyways. O sea, those street corners, those barrios, those whatever you want to call it, the neighborhoods, the calles, the streets, and the street signs, they've seen who's grown up there, who's been there from day one, who's been there through thick and thin, etc., for decades and decades and decades. And sometimes the internet might tell the opposite story, or people don't really know because it's just the internet. Yeah. But the neighborhoods, like you were talking about, Baldacci knows. Yeah. Okay, no. That's the internet bullshit when they talking about this one, but we know it's Baldacci. I think that's what you mean. Yeah. And the same thing in the 831. No, we know what's internet bullshit, and we know what's the real.
In LA, we have a saying. If you're from LA, you tell people, I survived. People from LA, we say we survived. Because a lot of us died during the 90s, early 2000s. The ones that are alive, we're happy to be alive because we survived a lot of violence. What some of these outsiders think is that we don't take care of each other. We have to take care of each other because even though we might be from different areas of LA, we all survived when so many of our brothers, uncles, even sisters, parents, they didn't survive. You can't start talking shit about LA people because LA people went through something that most cities didn't go through. I mean, we were literally called the gang capital of the world. And none of us are proud about that. We're only happy that we were able to survive and speak and be here today to talk, to express our art, to express our lives, our history. Because LA is not something that you could just say, I'm from LA and you're not from LA. Because people in LA, real people from LA, have lost family, have lost people, friends, and this is not me ranting on. This is just me stating facts about LA people.
Will we ever see a dope Chicano rapper that doesn't rap about street shit?
And unfortunately, there are. There's D-Struck. He's from LA. He's a rapper. Actually, no, he's Brazilian. He's Brazilian. There's Viva Mezcal, straight up Chicano from Boyle Heights.
Okay.
Check out Viva Mezcal. He is definitely one of the guys that he did an interview with Rodent Radio. Definitely from Boyle Heights, Chicano through and through.
I gotta give my top 3 or 5 Chicano movies because they keep commenting movies in the comment section, cabrón.
Really?
And you had mentioned
I said
movies that weren't too popular.
I say La Bamba.
No,
Million
that
to
wasn't the
Juan.
first one.
Well, Million to Juan was my favorite one, but then I
The
totally
first
forgot
one
about La
was,
Bamba.
you couldn't even.
The first one was
they
A
didn't
Million
even
to
know.
Juan. If you
They
guys
didn't even
haven't
know
seen
what-
A Million to Juan,
They haven't seen it.
A Million to Juan, it stars Paul Rodriguez, where Edward James Olmos. The whole plot of this is that Paul Rodriguez is raising his kid by himself. He's a single dad in L.A. He has his brothers living with him. They're going through the struggle of Chicanos, working these jobs here and there, not really having a full-time job. People being racist towards them because they're Chicanos.
So what was the decade? Movie based out of what
Late
decade?
90s.
Okay.
Mid to late 90s. And Edward James
that pinche
Olmos,
like
some
Norbeez.
guy all
He's
of a
still
sudden,
recommending movies that. Okay, let me give my top 3
Yeah.
or 5.
All right, go
Here
for
we
it,
go.
go for it,
We
go for it.
got to go with number 1. People are gonna get surprised about this. Get surprised, but it's the 1996
Okay.
with the main character being played by Armand Asante,
Yeah.
and it was John Gotti. And
Ain't that
that one is
Chicano?
all over that one. No, but that's the number 1 movie that turned me on to number 2. I'm going to put that in the Chicano genre. Hate on what you want to hate on.
No, wait. I take it back.
That
I take it
fucking
back.
movie.
It is Chicano.
And I had the DVDs for The Godfather. I'm going to
Yeah.
include all of these. And you could be like,
let me say this
they
part.
might not have
Let me say this
Chicano
part.
roots.
The reason why Gotti would be considered Chicano is because of one actor. Anthony Quinn. Anthony Quinn is 100% Mexicano. Anthony Quinn, 100% Chicano.
Damn it.
And he
Damn
played Armand's mentor.
You know what? I'm not going
You
to
remember his
explain
part?
anything.
You remember?
I'm going to give him to, you know what I'm going to do is
But you remember
I do.
Anthony Quinn
I
there,
do.
right?
He was the underboss.
Yeah, he was an underboss. Yeah.
Of course I remember. Norbeez, stop, cabrón.
Chicano.
So again, no,
Chicano.
no. Because people are going to argue and be like, yeah, Mikey, you just got done talking for 15 minutes about the Mexican blood has to flow through them. If you want me to be honest or you want me to lie, come
That
on.
was a
I'm going to
good-
tell
that
you
was
the
a good
fucking
movie,
truth.
though.
This is what I started seeing was that John Gotti movie 96
That
from
was a good one.
and then The
The
Godfather.
HBO one, yeah.
And there was a hard debate between that one and The Godfather Part 1. It was a hard one between that one and The Godfather Part 1. It was hard, bro. It was hard as fuck.
No, I don't know. You know what? The way I see it, Godfather, I would see that more as an American me, and then Gotti, I would see that more as a Bound by Honor.
Well, the American me ain't even scratching yet. I mean, it's
No,
not
I'm-
even
I'm-
scratching
I'm
at
saying
the door.
if I would put
I'm letting
these
you know
two
just
movies
from
as-
my experience.
Yeah.
So that one first. Second, Godfather will do Part 1. Arguably can go there, but now we're going to get into the Mexican ones. Now, without a shadow of a doubt, which people are always going to say, yes, those 4 or 5 movies, Chicano ones, that were more cholo ones, that went from 92 to 95 or 6 or whatever were the years. I'm going to not even thinking about it, no, because it is a great story. And I'm going to say, and I might be biased. About this. I'm just going to put this above, cabrón, okay? Which is going to be Bound by Honor. Now we're going to go Blood and Blood Out 3. Then we're going to go over into American Me 4. Then we're going to go over to American Me 4. Why? Because I like the storyline a little bit more. It's catchy. There's a longer version. There's a lot more footage that was given out there. And I know it becomes a controversial topic because we just said on Chicano Street that in order to be Chicano, you'd have to trace both parents to Mexico. You agree?
Yeah.
Then how do you see it? That's crazy.
No,
I
I
don't
agree.
know.
I agree. You really do because, it's just that Chicanos were the ones that did the work in LA to make Chicano mean something.
We're going to play oldies this
All
Sunday.
their parents
Tomorrow night.
were Mexican. All their parents were Mexican, and that's the thing that was crazy because the COS, man, I gotta get those initials right, those abbreviations.
You were saying Central for something, and I said, you know what? I said from Salinas over to Yuma, Arizona.
Okay, Community Service Organization, the CSO. The CSO, the difference between the CSO and the movement of Cesar Chavez with the unions is that the CSO didn't care if you were a Mexican American or an immigrant. They didn't care. You were raza, you were Chicano for them. So for them, they didn't see it. Whereas Cesar Chavez, if you were a Mexican, you were a threat to his union.
ALG Entertainment in the casa says, American Me changed the world like colors. Probably not as much. I mean, okay, would you consider Colors to be more like an Africano movie than Mexican movie? Because
No.
American Me for sure was a Chicano movie.
The biggest scenes for me, even though it started off in the beginning
his
of the
dad was a Chicano, but he was
in
second.
the beginning of the movie, it started off more of towards the black. But when you go throughout the story, there were more involving Chicanos, the cholos that were from back then. They were more part of the actual story. Even though, like, the back end was about that one guy, what's his name?
Well,
that they were going after.
Colors didn't go as far back as American Me, because American Me went back as to where they're camaradas already way back in the day.
Yeah.
From just hanging out to like...
American Me, for me, I mean, that was an odd movie.
What was
for
that
me.
shot at?
That
Boyle Heights?
American
Lincoln
Me?
Heights?
Yeah, I think some parts of Boyle Heights. I mean,
Was it Boyle?
It started a lot of controversy because a lot of people were unalived in Boyle Heights because of that movie.
That's a fact.
That's a fact. But for me, I think Boyle Heights, I think American Me, they try to make it more like a Godfather type of movie.
You know what? It's funny because shout out to all the subscribers that are tapping in the casa. You hear the subscriber bell. Yeah. Shout out to you guys, cabrones. Yes. I appreciate you guys. Live on Chicano Street with Norbeez. You know what it is people have their own stories, and it's like they're all different, and some people experience it like just like he experienced it. Yeah. And it's a trip when he tells it. But when they start making things that are untrue, that's when it becomes a problem because now they're saying you wrote, scripted, had an actor act out of something that was not true. People can get mad, pissed off.
I mean, I'm pretty sure a lot of people have seen the interview with Danny Trejo where he explains that whole situation. If you haven't seen it, look up Danny Trejo. I want to say he talks about it with the Culture Vulture Vlad TV, but check it out. I mean, Danny Trejo kind of breaks it down how he had to have a meeting with Edward James Olmos about that movie. It was wild. Check it out. If you haven't checked it out, check it out. Because it's
Help! I've been deported. I'm in Tijuana.
Javier, can you hear me?
Estoy en Tijuana.
There are different worlds that exist
Jesús está
within
en
our
Tijuana.
He says American Me was filmed in the Encino. Does that make sense? Or no? Live on Chicano Street.
You know what? And I want to give a big shout out to Joe Castro, Big Joe, because he just gave me some very important, which I'm gonna add this to my number 4 favorite Chicano movie, which is Stand and Deliver. Shout out to Joe Castro for reminding me that one.
1111th Street, Ranker.
Stand and Deliver. Do you remember that movie? When I see that movie,
okay, I gotta keep going.
I still see that movie.
So how many have you given? Your top 4 or 5? How many? You've named like 4 or 5.
I'm at 4 now.
You're like at 4.
I'm at 4.
Okay,
now.
so I said this is it for me. The number 1 was the John Gotti one, 1996. It's on HBO. Armin Asante's the main character. Anthony Quinn. Yeah. Number 2 is Godfather. You can't replace part 1. It just is what it is. Yeah. It shows you how to go from one level to the next level. Yeah. At least what the vision was for Michael. Yeah. At the end of the day, it was what it was. Yeah. And he had to keep the blood flowing. Yeah. Let's just say that. Yeah. Then was the great debate about the American Me, which I have to be completely forthright and let you know what it is. When that movie came out in about 1992, I said Salinas up here, California. It's like the Los Angeles of Northern California. Around that time when that movie came out was a little bit more adding to the equation of what was already happening on the streets, which is a lot of fights and arguments and football games between neighborhoods and shit was happening all the time. That I do remember about that movie. Once that came out, it was like, oh, shit.
American Me, right?
American Me.
You know, I got a funny story about that if you let me interject. I told you I grew up in East Hollywood, right? And
East Hollywood,
I went to Hollywood High. When that movie came out, that was the one time I ever seen Edward James Olmos. And it was a random day where I want to say it was after school. I walked. I for some reason I decided I want to walk through Hollywood Street that day, and I was getting near Vine Street, and all of a sudden I turned around and guess who I saw, staring back at me.
There he was.
Guess who I saw?
The man.
Edward James Olmos. And here I am, a 15-year-old boy, saying, "Oh shit, that's Edward James Olmos." And that's after the American Me movie came out. I'm like, what the fuck is he doing in the middle of Hollywood, just standing there?
He's being amongst the raza because that's all
Well,
he knows is being amongst the people.
I mean, no, around that time, we're talking about Hollywood
He's
Street.
blowing up. He's already a figure.
But it tripped me out. I'm like, what the fuck is he doing?
Where he could have security around him, but he's not moving with security.
He was by himself.
He's for the people.
And this guy was staring me in the eye the way you are right now. But it said we were like maybe, I don't know, 500 yards away. No, maybe 300 yards away from each other. And
American Me.
The
Zoot Suit. We know what happened during the Zoot Suit riots.
Yes, and in the harbor area.
Okay,
yes.
Where a piece of it was in the American Me movie. Now, should we say the American Me movie maybe gave more historical data? Because Blood In, Blood Out was a story of a gabacho. His dad was a gabacho. The mom was Mexican, hanging out with Mexicans. Yeah. And in order to prove his worth, he went all the way and made a career out of gangbanging.
I would say his other movie did
all the
more.
Way.
His other movie, the one with Zoot Suits.
You know, he revealed in that movie.
What was that one called? Was it called Zoot Suits, or what was it called?
Imagine if you had a cousin that they considered the baddest Chicano in the barrio.
Yeah.
This dude is putting major hands. I mean, he's the leader.
Yeah.
The leader doesn't need to prove his point.
Yeah.
He has so much charisma. He's just the leader.
Yeah. He's the gallo negro of the group.
He is the gallo negro.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, and then you're the other cousin, but because your dad is a gabacho, they threw you in that basket, and you always had to do a little bit more just to hang out. You had to do a little bit more. Yeah. But instead of that, once he found out the whole game, he decided to go all the way. So that's why I made it my favorite. I was like, you know what? Adversity is a motherfucker.
It does teach you about business.
I didn't like the fact that in the other one, American Me, that scene in the juvenile hall was included, which caused all the problems.
Yeah.
That absolutely was a detractor to me. I'm not putting on the whole movie. I'm just saying that fucking scene right there will automatically get you in limbo controversy.
But it's interesting that you would point that out, because that's one thing that's a big problem right now with some of these podcasters. They're talking about things, they're making things up, and they're speaking about people without any actual facts behind it. And it's getting dangerous.
They're regurgitating things that they've already heard.
No, I think they're just making things up so they can get the views, regardless of what could possibly happen.
You talking about small channels or big channels?
I'm talking about a few channels out there that
small or big
that are making things up. I mean, I wouldn't call them big. They might think they're big, but I would say some of these
making shit up for just any reason, or because they see other people running numbers and then they just want to copycat because they figure, it's a numbers game.
Here's an example. Again, and I'm going back to Baldacci. They were trying to smut up his name, even though this guy was he was just being an artist, trying to gain momentum. No, not trying, but gaining momentum, working with other people to elevate himself, as he should. And here you have people making up weird rumors about him that were untrue. For what reason? So they could get numbers.
Or just talk shit, cabrón. That's all they want to do is talk shit about you. Then, hey, it is what it is. They're going to try to put
Stand
you
Deliver is definitely one of my other...
Okay, here we go.
My last fifth movie.
Oh, I didn't give you the fifth one.
My last fifth movie.
Go.
Mi Familia.
Damn. Another one. That's another one. Chicano Classics.
Live on Chicano Street, we got Norbeez, Chicano Verified in the casa. He's coming over here. Shout out to Marvelous, Tony A, everyone that tapped in the comment section. The comment section is going wild. We're getting to the end of the evening. Norbeez, any comments that you want to pick out? Any last message, lasting words that you want to tell the people?
I mean, what I want to tell the people is learn from the people that built this reputation for Chicanos. Express yourself, organize, show up. If your 13 to 15-year-old wants to express themselves in a political way or in a community way, let them express themselves. Encourage them. Let them understand what the meaning of organizing means, because that's our real power. We outnumber everybody on the West Coast. Even though the census might say that we're not the majority, we are 100% the majority. Ain't nobody having babies as much as we are. We're having from 5 to 13 babies per couple. We are the majority. We have the power, but we need each other to show up. If we don't show up, we're not going to change any of these things. We have to be able to show up, vote. If you are voting, go and find out who in your community is not voting, and encourage them to vote, to register to vote, and explain to them what it means to vote. Because even though federally our vote might not mean shit, locally our vote can definitely make a difference for our community. That's
live on Chicano Street. Gente, we've already passed the 3-hour mark. We're going to go ahead and, man, we've gone on a good one right now. Live on Chicano Street, I want to go ahead and give a shout out to all the raza, all the people. It's because of you guys that we're here.
I love you all.
It's because of you guys that we're even talking here on YouTube Landia, on Chicano's Tube, on Chicano Street. Sir. I appreciate you guys for commenting right here. We got Norbeez in the casa. We got Norbeez in here. You guys asked all the questions. We giving it to you just for the corazón.
It's a good thing we didn't go into ancient history, because we would have gone another 3 hours.
Wait a second, though. Did I give... Okay, you gave 5. Let me see if I gave 5. I said John Gotti, Godfather 1. Then I said Bound and American Me. And number 5, ooh, that one is a... You got a lot of people neck and neck. A lot of people neck. Yeah, you do.
You can't just...
No, hell no. You can't just give it all up, because it's a lot for people to debate. But I'm going to tell you, number 5, if I had to be trapped on a desert island, 5 VHS tapes, those first 4 ones, VHS, or I mean, DVD would be better, right? But John Gotti 96, Godfather Part 1, Blood In, American Me, and number 5, for the raza, for the people, would have to absolutely be the Edward James Olmos movie, Stand By Me.
Hey, there you go.
I'm going to keep it with the...
Wait. Stand By Me?
Stand and Deliver.
Stand and Deliver, yeah.
Something with the word stand. Come on. I maybe be able to get that right.
What was that? The name?
That's Chemo's Flicks.
That's Chemo.
That's Chemo's
call
Flicks.
Them Chemo, right?
That's Chemo when he's just a Chicano trying to help the people out.
Isn't that a bitch that they got to... I mean, not to hate on the actor that played that Cholo, but I'm like, bro, you guys couldn't find enough Chicanos to play that part?
Motherfuckers are gonna pull out their butterfly knives.
They got the.
They're gonna.
No disrespect to that
Who remembers
actor,
a butterfly knife like this?
I mean, that's crazy how they. I mean, no disrespect to Filipinos, but how could we not find Chicanos to play Richie Valens, or at least to play the Cholo guy? They got the same Filipino actor to play.
Jive ass, Maricon motherfucker.
Again, no disrespect to Filipino. I got a lot of
it
love.
It is what it is. Live on Chicano Tube, live on Chicano Street. Norbeez in the casa one more time, you guys. We got about 1 more month before the summer is out, and here comes the fall season. The next time I'm going to see you is going to be pumpkin spice season. Cabron, I appreciate you for coming in.
Thank you.
Three
appreciate
ninjas
you for having me.
Vote against the left, he says. 805. vote for Faith, not Desmadres. Someone take my keys. I can't drive. Why? I ain't gonna drive tonight. You guys, I appreciate you guys. Hit that pinchy like. We're back here coming up real soon with more episodes coming soon.
Yeah.
I appreciate you otra vez más, cabrones. Salud.
Salud.
Cheers over to you. I appreciate you guys. We did it. We're back on the Chicano Street. Hit that pinchy like, and we're out. But remember what they always say? Remember what they always say. In the end,
Really have each other?
all you got is the memories.
Oh, you guys memories, yeah.